gonna hear. I know it.
There we go.
Yeah. I got a haircut. Thanks for noticing. It's
Yeah.
the son of a
You're
bitch.
muted on screen, Matt.
I did that again. That was on me. See, this is what happens when I have to fix a billion things right before we go. Hey, everybody! Thanks for being patient. Hey, it worked out okay because no one was listening to me talk. Everyone was so excited about the thing I was talking about already, which is Skyen's a bird now.
Yeah.
Yeah! I'm fixing our cameras as we go, by the way. Don't worry, that's what I was saying while I was busy not unmuting myself. Panda is coming up on your screens in just a second. We'll just say that he's cosplaying as Paul right now until I get this working.
I am possessing my own camera. You can't see me.
Oh,
Gosh, it feels like it's been forever.
There he is.
It's been forever.
It has been, what, 2 weeks since the last one? 2 weeks, which, grand scheme of things, not that long, but when this is, you know, your job, it feels a lot longer. How's everybody feeling? Everybody excited for this episode?
I'm scared. I know how these 3-episode campaigns go. The second episode is always the scariest.
Yeah.
I was telling, I don't actually remember who was in the call at this time, but I was telling at least some of you a second ago that if this episode gets to the point where I think it will, which, you know, live show, maybe it won't, so no one get too excited, but if this episode gets to the point where I think it will be, I get to do some fucked up stuff today on the horror campaign, and I'm very excited about it.
Last time with the biomechanical arms sweeping up the souls of the dead.
Hey.
Out of the underworld like a straw. That was just.
I didn't say exclusively this time, did I? I said this. It's not exclusive to this one, but it will certainly be a fun one. Okay, the camera's basically ready. The cameras are good enough. Do we have any announcements or things, normal stuff, before we get into things? I feel like surely there's got to be something because it's been 2 weeks. There's Spotify, but I'll talk about that at the end. So
yeah,
is that it? Okay, so quick note for our Spotify listeners, which it won't actually matter if you're hearing this on Spotify. The previous episode is not up yet. That is my bad. I was out of town. We didn't properly plan who was going to upload it, so that was, again, my bad. I was trying to upload it this week. There was a problem with the file format, and so it got messed up, and then my internet was having problems, and it got messed up. I've tried like 4 times, and it keeps failing for different reasons. So I, at this point earlier today, figured out what the problem was, or what all the problems were, but didn't have time then to upload it because it's a very long file. But I will get it up tonight or tomorrow, so last week's episode will be up before the VOD of this one even goes up, so everything will be okay. And then in the future, Spotify episodes will be uploaded as normal. So that was my bad. I apologize for that, and I'm going to get it handled as best I can.
Matt, you have a little bit of Panda's cam in your cam.
Now, I know, I do. I was like, how is the top left of Panda's cam in the bottom right of mine? But no, I know what it is. See, this is what happens when I don't do anything on this setup for 2 weeks. I forget how to fix it. There we go. It's fixed.
Heyo.
It's fixed.
Hello.
I thought that was just part of your room. I had no idea what you were
I mean,
it was like an optical illusion.
There's black and red with the Lego Carnage head right in the corner, so it was to the discerning eye. All right. Anything else that we have to cover? Other than like, I guess we'll end with general scheduling things. But does anyone else have anything they need to say before we get to that?
I don't think so. I mean, we have to do a recap for sure.
Yes, recap we'll do, I guess, technically last. Let's talk real quick about scheduling stuff. So, this is obviously the second episode of Agents of Hades 2. The third episode of Agents of Hades 2 will be next Friday, December 8th. That is, unless we come up with a weird one-shot or something, which I don't think there's any plans to do, the end of D&Dorks for the year, because obviously a lot of people are going to be going out of town for Christmas and the other holidays. So next week, December 8th, is our finale for the year. We will be coming back in 2024. It is not the finale of D&Dorks as a whole. We will be coming back in, I'm going to tentatively say, early 2024. It will be January, February at the latest, I think.
Yeah. That sounds good.
The reason I'm being vague is because we don't know exactly what we're doing. We have a few options on the table as to what our next campaign is going to be, and we're shuffling them around and seeing what the most practical is. So we have something in mind, but we don't want to say it yet because we don't want to get people hyped if we have to move the order of things around. So more announcements will be coming for that soon, but mid to late January into early February is, I think, when you can expect to see us return, pending changes for various reasons. Everyone good on that? I think that's pretty much all we have to say there. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. In that case, recap time. Skyen, of course, did the recap last time, and despite Skyen not even being here for the thing he was recapping, we have gotten multiple comments, not even just on the stream, like on the VOD, praising how good Skyen's recap was. So we could either make him do it again, or we could say that he's done his duty and someone else can do it at this point. What do we think?
I mean, he did recap the whole last
He did
series.
the whole 3 episodes, so he has more than done enough. Let me change one more thing on Nathan's camera here. If no one else volunteers, I can always do it, as is my DM duty to some extent.
I'm gonna be real. My memory is so bad. I am
I was
always
just gonna-
terrible at these. So
I was just gonna claim
I
bad
don't
memory
remember,
too.
man.
Okay, yeah.
It's coming back to me, but there are definitely details I'm gonna miss.
I'm gonna miss, you say. Therefore, implying that you are going to be the one to do it, Mike. Not
fuck,
you would.
Congratulations for volunteering yourself.
Congratulations. He didn't say he would miss,
This is
did
that
he?
moment in the cartoon where everyone else steps back and one guy forgets
Yeah.
to.
Yep. All right, Mike. Go ahead.
Okay, so Hades 2. Here's the deal. Theo and Charon have been doing their superhero thing, and souls have been disappearing from the underworld. One such soul was Lord Cringe, MVP of the last series by far. With the common friend in mind, and because Hades don't have a ton of resources in terms of heroes, they contract Soma to help out with this. Soma takes it to a rescue call. He gets a very, very fucking aggressive, just deal with it. So they deal with it. It brings them to, I don't remember exactly what the location of where a soul was about to be taken. That soul, well, before we came across that soul, Skyen came in as, oh my god, it's literally...
Can you not remember, Mike? Mike, it's right. Well, I guess technically
it's right there. I know it's right there. I'm flustered. I accidentally volunteered myself. I'm all out of sorts. Grimnir comes in, tries to damn near pickpocket us, really just fucks around with us and is like, oh, this is interesting, and I've been investigating this on my own. I'll tag along. The soul in question was Paul, a soul that is infesting a leapfrog gamepad.
Yes.
And if you think we made the back end for that any better than episode 1, you'd be wrong.
You'd be wrong. That's it. That's
We're gonna work with it.
That's our party for this season. Soma, Theo, a leap pad, a leapfrog gamepad, and a kleptomaniac raven scholar, I would say.
Kleptomania crow. Love it.
Through circumstances that I may not entirely remember. What's that?
There's got to be a more clever way to say it. Kleptomania crow sounds like it should just flow.
Kleptocromaniac is right there. I mean, I'll...
Kleptomania. There we go.
If no one else is going to grab it, I'll take it. Continue.
Some fucked up robot arm tentacle tries to take Paul's soul, but Soma and Grimnir are able to stop that. Soma takes a chunk of tentacle for Karen, for Ronnie to study. And through that, we find out that basically the only place this could have come from was Earth in the mortal realm. And that took us there into a full city of heroes in not Dallas.
No, it is actually just...
Oh, no, it is straight up
in
Dallas.
In lore, it is. No one pronounced it like that, but in lore, it literally just is.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Marvel New York.
while.
We are in Dallas. We don't understand the concept.
Yeah.
Yes.
speaking of concepts we don't understand, we are stopped by two superheroes. I remember one was heart-themed, and the other one was the one that Rye knew. Can I
know.
There you Nathan, yes, please.
A demon lady named Andy.
Yes.
And a heart lady named Heartbeat, and they're lovers.
Triple correct.
Ooh.
Correct on all three.
Congratulations.
And one of them's a little cock, and the other one is actually kind of helpful.
Not the least accurate. Yeah, I'll give you that one.
And all this point us in the direction of a single entity, or a corporation, I do believe.
Corporation.
Yes, I know. Eternitech.
See, this worked out great, guys. Mike said he had a few things that he was gonna miss, and then Nathan can jump in and cover. This is perfect.
My only 2 notes.
Theo and Soma tag teaming.
Wow,
It's
look at
canon.
us cousins.
Bad school habits are fucking me up, man. My New Year's resolution is better note.
New Year's Revolution would be a kick-ass band name.
It's the name of a wrestling pay-per-view, in fact.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And
But if that
I
was
think the one other detail we missed was we realized that the arm came out of a portal that was green, a very specific color of green, which is the green color of Eternitech, and we devised a plan to infiltrate Eternitech with Grimnir transforming into the CFO. I just watched the last 10 minutes to prepare for this because I knew we planned.
Oh, there you go.
Grimnir pretending to be the CFO. I'm in like a swanky, like bluish suit with like a gold tie and a gold pocket square. I think Soma was going to pretend to be a bodyguard, and
Something of that nature, yeah.
Grimnir was just going to hold the leap pad and bring it with us.
Paul is
Pretend
iPad
it's my,
now.
Pretend it's my high-powered like executive iPad.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just a really fancy case around an iPad, definitely.
The question is Soma also in a swanky suit that matches the color schemes of his character?
Or are you just dressed up like a fucking Roman soldier, just toting around?
It is also worth noting for the planning that, like, superheroes are very much a thing here. So, like, while I wouldn't necessarily say that going around in your normal sort of armor, Soma, is the best idea, it is something you could swing as, like, yeah, this is a superhero that I've recruited.
I think this would have been a whole thing. And I think you guys he did not want to wear a fucking suit. He wanted to wear the toga. But talking him down from that, he's in like a dress shirt and dress pants, but the dress shirt is ripped at the left pec so that it is shaped like a toga.
I hate it.
This
Great,
is such a
great
crushing
job.
visual.
Just
What's
a
even the
ripped
point?
as hell green man in a torn up dress shirt. Okay, sure.
You know they can turn you away like that, right?
And yes,
Green man in torn clothes who just speaks in declaratives in a really loud voice.
yes.
If you saw
Final boss of this campaign might be
Ganondorf in a
copyright
fucked
law
up shirt,
infringement.
if you
I'm
saw
a
Ganondorf in a
bodyguard.
fucked up shirt walk into Microsoft, are you letting him pass the front door?
If it's a superhero city and he might have just gotten in some shit because he's a bodyguard, then sure.
Hey, we can
I
sell
guess.
anything.
Classic battle damaged costume showing off the muscles, you know. All right. And that was about where we left off, except for literally the final sort of moments of the episode, which is that you, was it Nathan or Theo?
It was Grimnir
That
that
was
noticed.
Grimnir that sensed it. Okay, I was trying to remember. I knew it was either the insight guy or the guy who was like on the case. I keep pointing, and I'm pointing at where you guys are in relation to me in the Discord call, which is not at all where you guys are on the actual screen. So in case people are wondering, like, what are you pointing at? Don't worry about it. Anyway, the last moment that we left off on was after you entered the building, you were met with this fancy high-tech screen that had what seemed to be some sort of, you know, slightly futuristic AI assistant lady on it. No one found anything notably strange about this. I mean, other than you people being mostly ancient and not having any idea what these are. Nothing supernaturally strange except for Grimnir. Grimnir was able to detect with his magic that this, in some sense, is one of the souls that was taken from Urkala. Now, this is where I'm going to just toss it over to you guys. I will remind Skyen, of course, though I'm sure this is already going through his head. I would not say that this is immediately defined as clear and present danger, but I will also leave it, in this case, I will leave it in your hands, whether you want to determine that or not.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll a Constitution save.
That works to me. Yeah, that works for me.
Okay, yeah, I passed that. Like, it's at DC 10, but basically, he's not going to transform into a werewolf right now. But if he sees too much more of this, the Constitution saves are going to get harder.
Oh, believe me, if and when it gets to a point, I'll keep you posted. But for this one, it was a sort of 50-50. So that's where you guys are at.
Like he holds the mask and sort of like pretends not to react to it. How many other people are around?
I would say there are. It's not a lot of people just milling around. There are people passing through, going, into elevators, out the building. There's like a little cafe over to the side. Probably 10 to 15 on average at any given point. There's a lot of people, but like it's not a big crowd. It's a lot passing through.
Yeah, that he'll sort of like grab like poke Theo and be like, I think I found where one of our souls have gone.
What do you mean?
There, inside the machine.
That moving picture.
Yes, I can sense it. These bastards.
How do they? Is it magic? Is it tech? How are they containing these souls in these machines?
Grimnir just sort of like shrugs at that because he doesn't know. He's not super tech savvy, although he knows more about it than probably either of his ancient companions.
Very much one of those situations where like no one is good, but one is better. It's that kind of vibe.
Soma's looking at a doorknob and jiggling it like, fascinating.
All this new technology. Had his mind blown by the concept of zippers.
Did the AI person speak to us when we got in?
I was assuming that this thing sort of, and I'm the DM, so what I assume is true. It lit up as you were sort of approaching, kind of like indicating that you should walk over, but it lit up at a distance before you were like in immediate conversation with it, kind of like drawing your eye to like go over here, that kind of thing,
Well, information is power, and I would like to approach the screen.
When you approach the screen, the woman on it smiles, seems fairly normal from what you can, what you've seen of modern humans, and in an upbeat, kind of chipper, corporate AI-style voice. Welcome to H.A.D.E.S, pioneering new frontiers in growth innovations. How can I help you today?
Yes, hello. What is your name?
Well, I am the H.A.D.E.S greeter AI. Technically, we don't usually use names here.
Oh, well, what would your name be if you had one?
You can call me Aggie. And as she says that, on the name, H.A.D.E.S greeter AI, the acronym.
Wow, okay, got it.
I love my stupid acronyms. It's a staple of the superhero genre.
H.A.D.E.S greeter AI. Gosh, I kind of fucking put the cart before the horse here. What do I even want to say to this girl? Can I do a? Oh fuck! I don't have that. I was gonna try to do it to see if I could do a detect thoughts on this bad boy, but can I do a detect evil and good on this AI? Game?
Sure. Read me exactly how that spell works.
Yeah, this is gonna be weird in this setting.
Yeah, this is very much applying fantasy to sci-fi, but give me a read on it.
Rules is written. It says, for the duration, you know if there is an aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead within 30 feet of you, as well as where the creature is located. Similarly, you know if there is a place or object within 30 feet of you that has been magically consecrated or desecrated.
Okay. How do I describe this? taking into account that you also don't know how tech works. There's like
Yes.
layers. There's layers of me not knowing how to describe this. I'm gonna say that this is definitely reading as an undead.
Yeah.
In the same sense as like Grimnir detected that this was a soul, not in like
Yeah.
it's a zombie, but that's the closest thing that I can
like,
get in my mind.
it for
Yes.
me. Yeah.
I will say the spell is like you can sense if there's anything around you and where they are. Is that what the wording was?
It was, sorry, let me pull it up again. It was, you can sense all those types of creatures, including undead, within 30 feet of you, as well as where it's located. Similarly, you know if there is a place or object within 30 feet of you that has been magically consecrated, which I don't know what that means, or desecrated.
So it's like blessed or purified, basically, which
Yeah.
you're not getting any of that, or
sacred or
not.
defiled, sort of thing.
Yes,
Churches
exactly that.
consecrated ground because they are blessed in the name of.
Got it.
Sacred or defiled is a probably more clear way to say it. But regardless, that's not it. I'm gonna say, and this is gonna be kind of weird, but intentionally so. You definitely get the sense of like there is some sort of undead essence or aura here, even though the spell should be able to do this. You cannot pinpoint a location.
Okay. So in my mind, this is confirmed. What Grimnir said to me.
Mm-hmm.
I say, Aggie, what do you know about Irkala?
You can see like the AI kind of moves in sort of a pre-scripted like thinking pose that you can tell is kind of a loading thing. And then she's like, I'm not sure if any of this is relevant to Eternitech specifically, but I can consult the general internet at large. And you can see like she holds up a hand and like the Wikipedia page for Irkala shows up, which, you know, just it was the afterlife that the ancient Mesopotamia, blah, blah, blah. Google the Wikipedia article right now. That's what you get.
Can I try something?
That is what D&D is for.
Can I try and ghost in the machine this thing? Like try and jump into it to see if I can see another soul?
Yeah, sure. What did we make the roll? Yeah, I think it was.
It was like a series of con saves.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We'll give me a con check. Again, this is going to be low because this is another thing that you are not familiar with tech-wise.
Right.
But
let's see.
If you can get it.
That's a nat 20.
And that, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone else, is one of those moments where the course of the episode turns.
Good.
That's what I'm talking about.
Paul, you are able to interface with this thing so easily. And I'm going to say, since you got a nat 20, not in a lucky easily, in a, like, this is an easy connection to make.
Yeah. Okay.
Thing. Yes.
I also want to point out to both Grimnir and Theo, you just see the mist just over to the machine without saying anything.
Paul.
As Paul does this, Aggie starts glitching pretty badly. I would say actually, in a way that is at first funny, as she kind of like rubber bands and starts sort of the model starts moving around on screen, and rapidly becomes Uncanny Valley as the movements become more and more unnatural and the model starts to distort.
No!
Now,
my bad.
We'll get to what Paul is sort of seeing in there in a second, but as this is happening, this does attract the attention of some employees of the company who rapidly come over to see what is going on. So just note, everyone else, that there are now other people involved in this. Paul,
Grimnir's gotta intercept them. Like sort of like I'm a person of authority of some kind, and he'll sort of walk over and be like text you, hey, listen, so this presentation unit is totally glitching out in front of the customers right now. I want to see whoever is in charge of that, and I want to make sure that they're got. Like, he just goes off on like a sort of
distraction. Gotcha.
Ramble.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. I will note that is happening.
Stall.
This is a weird question, but I have a reason for asking it. If the answer is I don't know, that's totally fine, but I want to lead with this. Paul, is there something specific that you are quote-unquote looking for as you are doing this?
I heard Grimnir say that this might be one of the souls.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Theo try and talk to it. So right now, Paul is trying to be a hero and trying to find the soul in there, because that's what we're looking for.
Give me.
So I'm trying to find the person inside here.
Give me an investigation check, and then I will describe.
How is my investigation? It could be better. That could be better. 10.
I mean, that is average.
That's average. I looked around.
I was about to say it is. You have the average understanding of a person who doesn't know what a computer is getting sucked into a computer. So probably not too much, but technically it's the average. So yeah, in here, there is a lot of stuff that you do not understand. There is a lot of, it's not really visual in a sense. It's more just like vibes, feeling sort of a magical detection around you. You sense a lot of various magic. You can sense connections to the underworld and things like that, which makes sense considering there's a soul in here. You also get a sense of again, you are an old, dead soul who's been in the underworld for a very long time. You get the sense of there's numbers around. There's a lot of just sort of conceptual numbers floating, and that's the best way you can describe it. You've maybe felt a little bit of that in the Leap Pad, but there's a whole lot more in here, and it's very difficult to navigate. But again, kind of going off that nat 20 to get in, it's not pushing you out. It's not like it's resisting you. It's just you don't know how to navigate it.
Yeah. Okay. Fuck. Okay, so I am kind of looking around. I'm using my knowledge of inhabiting what is essentially an extremely simple computer for a very long amount of time to try and kind of... I want to use that kind of the same way that someone who has a very rudimentary knowledge of a job can kind of fake their way through something.
Yeah.
I'm kind of I'm looking for similarities. I'm looking for, okay, there needs to be a main pathway to get to what I'm trying to get to.
Okay, I'm going to say, you know what? Sure. This is going to sound super weird, but this is, I think, the information that you get. The Leap Pad classically is tap on the thing and it does a thing, right?
Yeah.
You can sense a lot of that, very pre-programmed call and response action demands this in this sort of in a sort of magical way. You can sense that is the purpose of a lot that is around you. With the context of a Leap Pad, I don't think you're going to get much other than that.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to try and follow those. I'm going to try and follow those back to a main opening question. Kind of I'm trying to find the home screen.
Doable, will take longer. So let's jump back to the rest of the party. It's really funny, chat. I want to pull back the curtain a little bit. This episode originally started, and I think we're still maybe going to get to this, with a sort of pre-scripted party split of Theo leaving, because Nathan, there was a chance earlier this week where we thought Nathan was going to be late, and then obviously he's here. But it's very funny that this ended up in a party split, but with a different guy in a different circumstance.
I don't like the fact that you're calling this a party split. I don't like the fact that this is not just me talking.
You just said you were leaving. You were trying to follow.
How far am I going into this? Am I getting fucking sucked up into this right now?
Hey, Panda, when we get back to you, you can turn back at any time.
Oh, no. I don't like this.
It's actually maybe one of my favorite DM bullshit lines I've ever said.
If an AI is a full-size swimming pool, then a Leap Pad would have been a kiddie pool. You have no fucking idea how deep you're going.
I have no idea
where
where
kiddie
I'm
pool
going.
is generous, I would say. This is
No.
AI
if
that
a
is
Leap
connected
Pad is a kiddie pool, I just jumped into the fucking Pacific Ocean and I'm trying to find my way to Hawaii.
And
that's the goal right now.
Paul's logic is very much they're both water. Yeah.
I'm trying to find the island in all of this.
Hey, it'll be funny, but we'll get to it in a bit. So, backtrack out to the lobby of this building. Grimnir is trying, ineffectual grandstanding, basically, to try and distract everybody from what's going on.
Yeah, demanding to speak to the manager, demanding that people get fired. And I do want to ask, any of the sort of workers who are coming over, are they wearing, like, lanyards or things with, like, access cards on them or identification tags or anything like that?
You fucking kleptomaniac.
Hey, okay,
exactly
to be fair,
let's
it's kleptomania. Is it kleptomania if it's relevant to the mission? I think technically, no. I actually don't think it would be considered psychologically.
Okay, so
yes, you can try that.
25 to beat. Let's see if we can't relieve one or two of them of their access cards.
Okay, sure. Let me roll some perception checks here. And I will... You know what, actually? Give me advantage, because you are disguised as someone they would be familiar with, and also it's a very distracting situation. So I'll let you roll advantage on that.
I'll roll another... That's a natural one. We'll stick with the 25.
Yep, stick with the 25. Okay, cool. I mean, I don't think any of these random people are going to have, like, +5 bonuses, so... You're probably fine, but... There are several people around, so we'll make a bunch of checks. If anyone notices... you don't notice them noticing. Yeah, you said you wanted to get 1 or 2. You can grab 2 access cards fairly easily.
Excellent. Just like whatever they have on them that seems like it might be useful to us. Like while he's still going on, like
yeah.
He'll probably disguise it as one of those like poking them in the chest, like sort of like scolding them and like,
yeah,
just lifting the thing off.
Like throw your arms out really dramatically, smack somebody in the face as you do it, and grab their key. Yeah. Okay, cool. So you have both of those. Now, after like a moment of this, the AI starts to sort of calm back down from glitching. It is frozen, though. For the audience, this represents Paul leaving the active thing and moving on further in the network. But for the rest of you, it is frozen. You don't know why. As best you can tell, Paul has not re-emerged. There are still people around. There's a whole scene at this point.
Aggie, are you all right?
There's no response.
Damn.
Please don't lose my leap pad.
Yeah, keep that vessel on hand.
Where is it? Right? It's with Grimnir, right?
Yeah, I have it. I'm using a gesture around.
Just make sure it's not just on the ground.
Yeah.
Somewhere. Can I make just like a? I don't know if this area was fully described when we entered. Are we entering in at the bottom of like a skyscraper scenario?
Bottom of a skyscraper, very stereotypical sort of Silicon Valley, like big tech corporate office. Lots of like very shiny reflective surfaces, glass,
For sure.
big
like
H.A.D.E.S tech logo
table over in the corner.
Yeah.
Are there any other of those screens around?
Notably, there is not. There is the one in the center. There are, again, it's fairly minimalistic, as is sort of the aesthetic of this. There is, like, again, that little cafe thing in the corner, and then there are elevators off in the backside. But otherwise, it's like a very, I would describe it as cold and kind of creepy. It was probably described to, the employees as open concept.
Yeah. I'm going to see the commotion that Grimnir is picking up, and I'm gonna tap the glass. Tung, tung. Paul, you got to get out of there.
That's definitely not gonna have any response. Soma, just for my note, especially with you probably being the most eye-catching, not probably, you were definitely the most eye-catching and attention-grabbing person in this scenario. What are you doing during all this? Because there are definitely a lot of people staring at you specifically.
It's
a great question.
Good question.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know what I did.
I mean, up until now, I have assumed that you are just standing there awkwardly in silence.
Yeah.
But there's a point where I have to acknowledge it.
I kind of wanted a better answer, but like I think he would have been just like stanced up, arms folded, with Skyen to make him look more legit, or like, yeah, he's scolding you.
That's exactly what I thought you'd be doing.
I know what's going on.
Okay, cool. Eventually,
like clearly he's with me is the vibe.
Yeah.
Okay, quick thought that I probably should have thought about, but it's been 2 weeks. Did we ever establish a name for the guy that you are pretending to be, Skyen? If not, I'm just going to randomly generate one right now.
We did. I don't know that I wrote it down. Let me see.
I don't know if we had a name. We just knew it was the CFO.
Yeah.
CFO of executive marketing from like a LinkedIn post or whatever.
Yeah, I knew it was some bullshit title, but I don't remember if we actually... I randomly generated a name, and it says Tyler Baker. So if you're listening and your name is Tyler Baker, you're a character now.
He was so many frats. Holy shit.
All right, so... Everyone tag your best friend Tyler Baker. But after a moment of this, a security guard comes out of a small door in the wall that was kind of hidden off to the side, didn't really actually see it until it was opened, and approaches you very specifically, Mr. Baker. Kind of walks up quickly. Mr. Baker, what is going on here? We heard a commotion all the way from back in there. Is everything all right?
Yeah. Immediately identify that this is a security guard. Oh yeah, no, totally. Yeah, there's no problem. It's just we have a glitch with one of the systems that's out front, and I'm trying to find the person who was responsible for this particular oversight. Like I think maybe also the security oversight or all the system security. You should probably go back and check.
Yeah, I've got David working and making sure we've got everything set up there in the back. And who are these people? He looks over at Theo, and then he looks over at Soma, and then looks up at Soma, and that are they with you, Mr. Baker?
Yeah, obviously these are some of my associates from a recent foray into the superhero influencer marketing. Meet Mister, and he's gonna cast around for some sort of name, like Green Muscle and Pretty Boy.
Mr. Green Muscle. I love it. Okay.
I extend my hand, Mr. Pretty Boy. Please, that's my father's name. Just call me John.
Okay, John.
We do this professionally, people.
This is our
we do
real
this
job.
for money. This is our job.
I've built my whole career about talking about comic books and now writing comic book stories in this, and we've landed with Mr. Green Muscle and John Pretty Boy. I'm home right now, and I'm going home somehow.
We are improv masters. Okay?
Masters. We are masters of our craft.
Remember when I said we were going to do some fucked up stuff? I was talking about this. Okay, so the security guard looks as confused as you would expect, I think, from that. Both because, he doesn't recognize these guys, he hasn't heard the names, etc., etc. It is policy that we have, have they gotten their clearance? Have they been registered to come in? We don't usually let superheroes or superpowered individuals into the offices, especially the higher offices, without checking to make sure there's not going to be too much destruction. No offense. Green Muscle, was it?
That is yes.
It's a hyphenated last name.
Okay, I'm going to try... I guess this will be like a deception check. Like he's the two badges that he swiped, he's gonna like wave them in the man's face real quick so he can't see what's actually on them, and be like, "Yes, of course, they've got their badges right here. I've been through all this with security. You can go back and check the records later." Like sort of trying to flash his way past it.
Yeah, give me a deception check.
Guidance. You can add a
23.
23 is quite good. So I just realized my computer wasn't plugged in. Let me get that, and then I will roll again.
Thank God for expertise.
Said 23?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, he doesn't seem to question it. He's okay, well, I mean, you're the boss. Just try to keep... You know what, never mind. It's fine. Go about your business. Sorry for the trouble, Mr. Baker.
Okay. Yeah, like he'll do like the sort of gracious CEO thing. Yeah, totally. I mean, I really appreciate your dedication to the mission that we have here at the company, and I really like the cultural alignment that you're showing with the mission of the company. I'll definitely be talking to like baffling on, waffling him about like, you're gonna get a promotion, we're gonna look at that, like definitely Christmas bonus, like, and turning back and starting like to like if any of the other guys are starting to sort of make a move as though they want to examine the AI machine, he's just go, wait, hang on, I'm not done with you.
Okay, 2 notes. One of them more fun, one of them less fun. First off, someone in chat just pointed out, Skyen, did you intentionally make a reference to one of Nathan's songs there, or was that a coincidence?
That was a coincidence.
Yeah, well, there
That's
you go.
so hilarious.
That worked out excellently. Secondly, though, the less fun one. As the security guard starts walking away, like he turns to go back into the office, his phone rings. And he picks it up. You hear him talk into it for a second. And then just kind of, yes, sir, of course. Yeah, sorry for any delays or inconveniences. We'll get on that right away. And he hangs up the phone and turns back to you, Mr. Baker. Goes, oh, yeah, Mr. Baker, sorry, we just got a call from the boss. Yeah, I'm sorry for questioning you. Everything's already been cleared. Actually, that one, he points at Pretty Boy, was it? Yeah, Mr. Returner said he wanted to see him in his office. He said the appointment was 10 minutes ago, so get him on up there.
Uh-oh. Yeah, Grimner is going to, like, cast about for a reason not to let this happen. And I don't think he's going to be able to find one.
if you guys have an idea.
I'm a transferer. Can you show me the way?
Well, yeah, of course. It's, through that elevator right there, and then it's top floor corner office. It's the CEO for you.
Here we go. Grimner has his ankle. Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. I'll show you. It's absolutely no problem. Just leave him with me. I'll take care of it.
Okay, sure. You're the boss. It's been such a day. And then he just kind of turns around, puts his phone back in his pocket, and walks away, clearly not wanting to deal with this anymore. So, are you guys following the summons?
We kind of have to, don't we?
Yeah.
I mean, you technically don't have to.
You're just ditching me in a podium?
There's a lot of... Remember, I said that when I say that Nathan was maybe going to be out of town, or not out of town, but late for this episode, I got confirmation that he wasn't 2 hours ago. So
yes,
some of the scripting is originally written for, but you don't technically have to. If you guys come up with a way out, that's fine.
I can't believe you guys are leaving me in
it's either this or we just stand around in the lobby until he comes out, which could be who knows how long.
Yeah.
Listen, I imagine this tech building is very well connected, and if he's in there, he can find a way out somewhere else.
It's a network. It's probably not just one-to-one. All right. Well, in that case, you guys going in?
Yeah.
Okay.
All three of us?
That's
nothing else we can really do.
That is your call.
I would like to not be alone.
Yeah, Soma also follows, and if anyone questions him, he just still crosses with his crossed arms, like, flexes his exposed pec menacingly, like...
Just the one.
Question it.
All right.
Everybody you walk past.
Seeing this guy in the tech building is the most confusing thing in my entire brain. Is just seeing this fucking professional wrestler ass-looking guy just walking through, just heck flexing everybody.
All right, so you guys get into the elevator and can head up again, or not. I know this feels a little railroady. That was not. If you guys have a plan, I was writing this for live show purposes, so.
Yeah, I mean, now we're in.
Yeah, you're in. And there's nobody else in the elevator, by the way, for planning purposes.
Who did they say I was meeting with? The boss?
The boss, the CEO.
Do we know the name of that CEO?
Hmm?
Do we know the name of that CEO? Like, do we know
I don't believe it has ever been said. You could find it if you have, like, a phone on you. It's not secret info.
Pocketed one of those.
Well, I think the boss is a good person to go to because we're here for answers. So
yeah, I mean, if he's, because like you're not impersonating anyone. Like he didn't actually have a meeting. He I guess it's kind of a trap, but it's also like,
yeah, it's like, oh, he's expecting John Pretty Boy, that name we just made up 5 seconds ago.
Yeah. It's totally chill.
He's definitely, absolutely looking for John Pretty Boy. There's definitely a scheduled meeting for John Pretty Boy.
I will be right there. Yeah, it's definitely a trap, but I think, we're in the lion's den.
Yeah, and I think Grimnir was like, well, he definitely knows that you're not supposed to be here. So this is a trap.
I wonder what else he knows.
Yeah. Yes, good question. And I have a way to find out. And Grimnir is gonna cast Disguise Self, and he's gonna shift into the form of the security guard, who just, talked to us downstairs.
Ah, okay. Now in that form, you guys push the button for the top floor. There's an elevator ride up. You know, about halfway through this skyscraper, the doors slide open, and you see what's
just. Before we do that, like, I think, because what Grimna is going to suggest, and this depends on whether H.A.D.E.S and Soma are, like, comfortable with it, is that he's going to get off on another floor near the top and start snooping around.
Okay.
But that will leave the two of them to deal with the CEO alone.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Just for my note, businessman.
Just for my note, and I think this level of specificity is going to terrify the shit out of the audience. How many floors under?
Oh God.
Well, if there's any indication on, like, if there's a directory or whatever, wherever the server room is, like wherever the development floor is, if he can find that.
Okay.
Otherwise, he'll just go like 2 or 3 floors below the CEO's office.
Okay, we'll say there's some level of development floor. I don't have this whole like 50-story building mapped up, but I have a rough idea. We'll say you're 3 floors below.
Okay. Cool.
So you guys head up. You go up like 10 floors. The doors slide open to reveal like an intern who takes a step forward, sees you guys, and then sees the giant green man, and then just kind of goes, "I'll take the next elevator," and then the doors close again before you guys start heading back up.
Before we all separate, I'm going to cast Bless. I get 3 creatures of my choice. That's 3 of us. So we all get to add a D4 to any attack roll or saving throw. Just to have.
Okay.
We're all blessed.
All right, so you get up to 3 floors below the top. Sky and Grimnir, you can get out here. There's nothing immediately remarkable, like, right outside. But I will note that you were there. We'll come back to you in a minute. Everyone's fully splitting up this time, but I think that'll be funnier for what's going to happen. This is a full...
And Grimna's going to hand Soma and Theo, he's going to hand them each one of his little trinkets, which are his tokens of the departed, which means he's going to have 1 left for himself. He's going to say, "They might not do that much, but these things will at least help you if things go south."
What do they do?
Mechanically, they give you advantage on death saving throws and constitution saving throws.
Nice. Okay.
Cool.
I'm gonna write that down so I don't forget.
And it also allows me to... I don't know exactly how this is going to work, but like I can, from any place that I am, choose to destroy one of the trinkets and cause the spirit inside it to manifest.
Ooh.
Okay. Out of curiosity, you can destroy it from anywhere, yes?
Yes. There's no, at least rules as written, there's no range limitation on it.
I'm fine with that, rules as written. My question is, can you at all, like, sense through or communicate through it, or is it sort of either you have to have an external source of communication or luck of the draw when you smash this thing? Okay.
Like, all it is, what it says is, as an action, you can destroy one of your soul trinkets no matter where it's located. When you do so, you can ask the spirit associated with the trinket 1 question. The spirit appears to you and answers language and answers as concisely as possible, eager to be free.
So the spirit comes to you no matter whether the trinket is. It's not summon ghost wherever I want. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. But I figure, like, if it sort of pops out of their trinket and like flies to me, at least I can get a direction on where they are.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. I'll say that you might have to do like a check for it, but I think that's a reasonable
like
sort of rules implication or whatever. All right, so you get off there. The party is now fully split up and looking for clues. Very Scooby-Doo of you. And the elevator takes the next couple floors up to the top. The top looks like an executive level floor. There's nothing incredibly notable that jumps out at you. It's a nice hallway. There are like some plants and stuff, various like pictures on the walls of just like kind of generic art, like coastal landscapes and stuff. But at the end of the hall, there is a door that seems notably fancier than the others. It is metal, not like reinforced metal, but like it's not glass. You can't see through it. And there is a nameplate next to it that says Mr. Eterna of Eternatech, presumably.
Mr. Eterna. Well, time to walk into a trap.
If anyone watched the last season, you just got a shiver down your spine.
Yep.
At least if you watched the last episode.
Yep. That's the guy. All right, so you two...
I have no reason to fear this name.
You two approach this this door, and as you do, a little screen next to it, like right, actually we'll say on the other side from the nameplate, lights up, very similar to the one that you saw in the lobby. This screen seems to be another sort of AI person, but this one dressed as a security guard. And as you approach, there's name and appointment.
Yes, John Pretty Boy.
All right, I do have you here. Thank you, Mr. Pretty Boy. And you, name and appointment. Turning to Soma.
I am Mr. Green Muscle. I am with John Pretty Boy.
I am so sorry. I do not have a Mr. Green Muscle on my appointments list, and unauthorized superhumans are not allowed in any of the offices for security reasons.
He is my assistant. He cannot join me.
The AI kind of like, you see the screen, like the person on the screen turn and hear like a little whirring that's probably a hidden camera matching the movement as he kind of looks Soma off up and down. He goes, given that Mr. Green Muscle is clearly a superhuman and we do not know the exact status of this, surely you can understand the security concerns involved.
Of course.
Is this box telling me I can't go in the room?
It appears to be so.
Well, fuck the box. What exactly would happen if I went in anyway?
The thing just kind of pauses, not expecting that response, goes, that would not be possible.
Because?
The door is locked until I give access. Or, of course, Mr. Eterna opens it manually.
Well, he should do so, because I am not attending the meeting without my assistant.
The AI kind of pauses for a second, goes, one moment, please. And then it blinks closed, and you can hear kind of like muffled voices from inside the room, presumably the AI briefing the CEO on what's going on outside. This continues for a minute if you guys want to say anything or just wait your call.
This man is trying to have the most intense, like, come up to me and be threatened moment, and you guys are outside rules lawyering, like, no, I want to walk in with my friend.
It's very funny too, because when Skyen was like, oh yeah, I'm going to disguise myself as a security guard, I was like, oh yeah, that's perfect, because in my head I knew the rule is not only Theo can go in, the rule is no unauthorized superhumans. And then Skyen got off on the floor, and I was like, well, there
goes that plan.
Anyway.
We are not going to be strong-armed into being the weaker link, okay?
So you guys just waiting for...
Well, yeah, well, they're... I mean, honestly, if he knows you're here, then why wouldn't he want to meet with me? We're obviously...
Exactly. It's like, I know John Pretty Boy doesn't have an appointment. He's just typical villain stuff, you know? He wants to probably explain his whole grand plan to us.
I don't know. Authority figures always liked you.
Well, hopefully that gets... we'll see how far my charisma can get us. I would say let's hold off on violence, at least as long as we can. We still don't know where Paul is.
After a minute of talking inside the office, the AI blinks back onto the screen and says, Mr. Eterna has decided that the assistant in question will be allowed in on this meeting. So, sorry for the inconvenience. And you hear a click from the door, presumably it unlocking.
I go in.
All right.
As do I.
Just to give a better sense of the vibe, I want both of you to make me insight checks, and then based on what you give there, I will describe what you see.
All right.
Okay.
Someone says Mr. Eternatech is super phobic, to which I respond, Mr. Eternatech does not want the Hulk walking into his office unannounced.
Insane roll. I got a 31.
31.
Oh, I got a 16.
Boy. Okay, so we're just gonna, I'm gonna describe what Theo sees, so I assume you see roughly half. So, Theo, walking into this room, you see that it is fairly unremarkable. It is fancy, of course. It is a very nice, very high-profile CEO's office. Not that you would have a lot of precedent for that, but there is nothing notably menacing or sinister about this room. There are 2 lines of bookshelves on either side. Not wooden bookshelves. They are, very cold, very white, very shiny, as is the aesthetic of this whole building. And there are books, various, knickknacks, some awards, things, nothing of huge note. And then at the far end of the room, there is a desk with a big wall of glass windows behind it. Sitting at this desk is a man. A remarkably, almost worryingly normal-looking man. He is not sort of below average in any sense. He is the picture-perfect sort of Hollywood tech CEO guy. Attractive, approachably so, though. He's wearing a very nice, very tailored suit. He's got a short black hair. He does look a little bit tired, as you could kind of assume from someone who holds a high-profile position. Theo, specifically, with your very good sense of reading situations, he looks maybe a little bit more pale than he should, but you can't really tell if that's just something based on, his work or something else. If you detect anything off about this man, he seems perhaps in some way sick or ill, but definitely trying to hide that. And doing so very successfully. Soma, you would never get the sense from that guy. It is only the demigod of wisdom that is able to pick up on that. And as he looks up at the door opening, he gives a bright, cheery corporate smile and immediately stands up from the desk and walks over to shake your hand. So he holds his hand out towards you first, Theo.
Hello, Mr. Returner.
Hello. Sorry for all the confusion with my assistant. It's, security protocols. There's all sorts of types running around these days. My name is Mr. Returner. You can call me Lucas if you prefer. I've been wanting to meet with you for some time, actually. So come, sit. And you, Mr. Forgive me. I don't think Green Muscle is your real name. Remind me?
Soma
Kitaro, yes, of course. And H.A.D.E.S was you?
Yes.
Perfect. I'm sure you all are very confused and you have many questions, but come, sit. And he gestures to 2 chairs in front of his desk.
Take a seat.
Now, let's see. Yeah, I think this is the point. Panda, Skyen, headphones off.
Oh no!
This is a conversation that you guys do not get to hear. I will at you on Discord when we're done. So I'll be smart and establish.
Damn it! Let's lock in.
Let's go, cousin.
Yeah,
let's lock in.
So,
Ooh.
he sits back down. Well, of course, there's a lot of information that needs to be communicated between us, but you did come to me first. I know I'd set up the appointment, but that was just a formality to get everything cleared and on my schedule. You did arrive at my building. I didn't call you, so I suppose I'll do the courteous thing. Do you have any questions for me first? If not, I'll explain my piece as best I can.
I have questions, but go ahead, cousin.
We're dead.
My condolences.
Why are you wasting our goddamn time?
You did come here first. If you feel that this was a waste of time, I am truly sorry, but I don't think I'm purely responsible for that decision.
That will be determined by the information that you tell us, which I would love to hear.
Of course, so just no questions, start from the top?
Start from the top, and then we'll have plenty of questions, I assure you.
Of course. From what I know of you two, I assume that you have come from Urkala, correct?
Correct.
And you have likely come in response to what I assume you would see as abductions, yes?
Correct.
Correct. Well, this is going to be difficult to explain from a one-sided perspective, but I believe an example might perhaps be the best way to begin. He kind of claps his hands lightly, and when he does so, a screen lights up on one of the walls, much like the other AI screens you have seen. It's kind of projected in front of the bookshelves. And on the screen is his security guard AI. Mr. Turner turns to him and goes, Mr. Hunt, thank you so much for coming in. Of course, I don't want to take away any of your time, but I shouldn't have a meeting for a bit, so it should be all right. Just let me know if anything or anyone comes to the door as we're talking. Mr. Hunt, would you care to tell my guests here where exactly you came from and how you got here? At which point the security guard kind of nods, pauses for a second, and then, clearly not used to the sort of charismatic business vibe that Mr. Eterna spends a good chunk of his day in. Oh, yeah, I died in a car crash in the 80s, and then the boss here brought me back a couple years ago, and I've been working for him ever since.
All right. And you're okay with that?
That's better than being dead. I went... Where are you guys? Urkala? I was just kind of wandering around doing jack shit. Sorry, pardon the language, business meeting and all. But yeah, now I'm back here.
Wasn't that novel?
And if you... Let's say you didn't want to be here. What then?
I mean, I've got what did you call it, boss? Well, we used to call it the metaverse, but that term became outplayed very quickly. A simulated home, in a sense, that you could spend your time at, if that's what you're referring to. To which Mr. Hunt just kind of shrugs, like, yeah.
Interesting. And
From what afterlife do you hail?
Urkla? I think that was what it was.
Urkala.
Sure.
And do you and the other... So you're a soul. Do you and the other souls in this building communicate, socialize?
He kind of pauses for a second. Goes, well, I keep to myself, but that's a personal decision. That's probably direct that one more to the boss. He kind of, his eyes sort of shift over, not in like a suspicious way, in very much a like, this is a social question that I was not prepared to answer today kind of way.
What say you, Eterna?
Well, thank you, Mr. Hunt, for your help. I'm sure that provided a lot of enlightenment. You can kind of get the sense that he's like, well, I was hoping he would be a little bit more polite about it, but whatever. But then he looks back, he goes, I've long been fascinated with the concept of the underworld and things like that. I saw some texts about it a while ago. You know, the sort of the ways that people get into magic in the modern day, though maybe you two aren't familiar with it. Regardless, I was looking for a way to bring people back from death, and after quite a bit of work, I did manage to find it. I know it sounds unbelievable, but well, I suppose you sort of went through a similar, if slightly different process to be here in front of me.
We called in a favor. Mr. Hunt, do you have any memory of your actual life?
Yeah, I do. I was a security guard back then. I worked at a stadium. I did some concert venue stuff. He kind of just rambles on. You can make an insight check if you want to see. I won't, give you the not super interesting info, but
32.
Like, everything that he is saying definitely seems believable. There's not, like, any hesitation that you detect just seems to be him not, like, wanting to share personal details in what he sees as a work setting. But, like, the life that he is describing does definitely seem real, as weird as that sounds.
It doesn't sound like he's just reciting something he's been told.
No, it definitely... I'll phrase it like this. It's going to sound ominous, but I hope you kind of get... in the context of lying, people will say, like, I think that you believe that, whether it's true or not. You get that kind of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the very least, I should say. You don't get a bad vibe, but you're like, yeah, this guy definitely thinks that at the very least, this is real to him.
So what's your angle then, Mr. Eterna?
Well, it's like I said. Look, I don't know how familiar you are with modern corporations, but I do get the sense of where this is going. Money, is that what you're going to say? Trust me, this is not about money. I know that's not something that's easy to believe, coming from the CEO of one of the biggest tech corporations in the area, but it truly is not about money for me. It's about innovation. It's about growth. It's about expanding into new horizons and changing people's lives along the way. Call me a romantic in that sense, if you will. Though maybe I speak too highly of myself.
Are you sure it's... Oh, go ahead.
Mr. Eterna, where is the weapon? There's no fucking way you are harvesting souls from the afterlife and bringing them to Earth for any reason other than conquest. It would be purely asinine to suggest otherwise.
You, my large green friend, would kill in the financial world. Possibly literally, but let's not worry about that. It's not a weapon. It's not a weapon. I'm sorry, I'm really not... I don't often get accused of conquest, unless it's in a business sense, which I don't feel is what you mean.
No. Well, there are many battlefields. What kind of devastation are you going to wreak, Mr. Eterna? Because no one perverts nature to such an extent, if not for that, surely.
His gaze kind of like, not softens a little bit, but he was genuinely like a little bit taken aback by the weapon question, at the very least it being so forward. But when you say that, he kind of gets like, oh, I get what this guy's going for. And he sort of leans in a little bit and goes, Mr. Soma, Mr. Soma, whichever you prefer, but I promise you, my only goal is growth. It's not conquest, it's not destruction. I swear on my life.
So what comes after these little helpers? What else do you do with bringing souls back from the dead? Is this some sort of ploy at eternal life?
What comes next? See, that's the question that we have to ask in this field, and I was hoping you would eventually get to it. Now, I will be a bit honest here. This is an experiment that I was hoping to share with you directly, Theo. I am a bit familiar with your escapades. I do have some level of contact in the underworld, of course, given all that's happening here. Namtar, I believe. You might know him if you were connected to the agency. He was
yes.
my point of contact in this little project of mine. You see, Urkala wasn't exactly the only place we were using as a testing ground. There was another goal in mind. We were able to bring people back from Urkala and restore them to the world of the living without actually much trouble. It was much easier than I thought it was going to be in the grand scheme of things. But from there, I wondered if we could provide more help to people, you know, not just move them from one place to another, but be in some sense reconstructive. And with that thought in mind, I set my sights on asphodel.
Go on.
Oh, I think you know what I'm getting at here, but we have had, well, I did want this to be a bit of a surprise. I'm sure it will take you a bit off guard, but he claps his hands again, and on the other side of the room, another screen emerges, and after a moment, you are confronted with images of your deceased wife and child. Fully lucid, as you can see, not wandering around aimlessly. They seem immediately to have some sense of what is going on, and they are just there on the screen.
I'm immediately, like, stood up in shock. I
assumed, yes. I believe he actually, well, I can do this in character. He kind of looks at the screen and goes, H.A.D.E.S and Lukos, I believe, were their names, right? Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, I immediately felt some level of connection with the boys. Similar names and all, Lukos, but that's neither here nor there. I'll give you two a moment, if you like. Soma, my intent, of course, for barring you was not any level of security on my part. It was, I assumed this would be unsettling for you, so I wanted to break the news slowly, but regardless, we'll just let them have their time.
This is so fucked.
I told you I was going to do some fucked up shit this episode.
Theo slowly steps towards these screens.
H.A.D.E.S specifically immediately starts like crying at the sight of you, like happy tears, not like sad tears, like a reuniting.
I say, H.A.D.E.S.
Through the tears, she nods.
Lukos.
He nods as well. I should note, we didn't directly establish like the personalities of these characters because there was no way for me to ask Nathan that without giving something away. So we're gonna spitball a little bit here, but Lukos kind of nods again, just mouth open in shock.
I think, despite Theo's blank face, there are just tears start to stream down, and I turn my head sort of back and say to Mr. Turner, I say, "You are sick."
He he sits back down. He had stood up a little bit and gets a sort of strangely like sympathetic expression on his face. I did assume you would say that at first, but please talk to them, give them a chance. You are son of Athena, are you not? Take your time, and I trust that cooler heads will prevail.
I turn back to my late wife. She's just on a screen, right? It is like...
Yeah, they are... Like, you cannot touch them physically, as for why that is, like, haven't asked, but right now locked on a screen.
I press my hand onto the screen.
The simulation does the same, mirroring it. Of course, it's a screen. You can't feel any warmth or anything from that.
Cold. I say, my dear, my boy, I love you both dearly, and not a day has gone by where I don't miss you with all my being.
They return the sentiment. I mean, your wife still crying, says much the same. Your son, how old was he when he died?
He was like 6.
Oh, like really? Okay, so he's probably crying too then. He was younger than I thought.
Yeah.
It just got even scarier.
He was pretty young.
Yeah, they're both crying, but like you can hear them. That is worth noting. They can talk. I'm not doing voices because again, there was no way I could ask you this.
Yeah.
But like this is a very they seem from, I mean, you can insight check it if you want, but like they seem from the best of your knowledge fully realized.
Your minds for eons were shackled by the chains of Asphodel, but you are not yet free. And I would like to turn around and face Mr. Turner again and go, I said you are sick, not in the head, although that may be true. You're also sick in the body, aren't you? This tech isn't to help others. It's just a way that you tell yourself to convince yourself you're doing a good thing so you can help yourself.
At that accusation, he kind of puts his head down with like a sort of admitting smile and just sort of nods. Cancer. But that doesn't necessarily mean that my intentions are purely selfish. I mean, if someone cures his own disease, what's to stop him from curing the diseases of others, you know?
Oh my god. I look at Soma.
Yeah, who's been, I think, appropriately silent this whole time.
I look at Soma.
Weird pain in my back.
Bloodshot, tears in my eyes. This is weird, but Soma, can you give me an insight check?
I love this actually, because the way that you guys have split up, all of you are going to find different pieces of the puzzle, and it's worked out so well. Anyway.
There's a lot going on emotionally.
I warn everyone.
Check.
A 2?
Yeah.
I think the most... Okay, you're not going to get the nuance of anything. But what you do get through Theo's teary-eyed eyes is a call for violence.
can I move to grab Mr. Eterna by the neck?
You give me a just for fun, given the situation. Give me a. I mean, I guess it would technically be like a dex to like do it fast. It's strength to grapple, but if you're trying to like lash out and do it,
Probably, yeah. So dex check. That's decent. Ooh, that was a 4.
You have blast?
No, I don't think that's gonna do it. Actually,
I don't think that'll help.
He kind of ducks out of the way and scoots a little bit closer to the window. Notably, not in any like supernatural way. It just kind of seemed like he was reasonably expecting that, and sort of turned to go, hey, calm down, calm down. There's no need for this to resort to violence. I assure you. Everything I've told you.
I think there are plenty of good reasons, and I would like to attack.
Real quick, make me a perception check. Both of you.
okay.
So I will.
We love those.
Panda just turned his camera off, so now there's double me. Oh well.
Ooh. I got a dirty 20.
Okay, we're almost. I guess Skyen's going to be going next because Panda just turned his camera. The scene's almost done, but dirty 20 is enough. So, as you are turning to join this assault on this man, Theo, almost imperceptibly behind you, you hear a click that sounds very similar to the sound of the door lock from a moment ago.
Do I need to roll an insight to see if that was the door locking again, locking us in here?
Well, I don't think you're going to need to get to that point, because if you're turning around to look, you see that the back wall of this room, which was normal when you came in, is now covered with tendrils. Just this creeping web of flesh that has grown around the walls and covered and barred the door, sort of flicking the lock closed as it does so. And as you notice this, Mr. Eterna, who had of course stood up, stands up a little bit taller in front of this window. And as he does so, you can see that these tendrils that are on the back wall are connected to him. His flesh, as he looks at you, is pulsing and warping slightly as these masses have grown out of his back and extended very subtly through the bookshelves so that you couldn't see them to cover the back wall. And as he sees you notice this, he kind of turns and goes, yes, forgive me for being a little bit cryptic before. You asked if I was sick, and when I responded, I did think you assumed that I had cancer. To be more clear, I am the cancer. And at that, I think we're going to switch. I think we're going to switch scenes.
Dude, I'm going to cry in real life.
Dude, I told you, this is the episode where I'm doing fucked up shit, and I'm very excited about it. Let me at... Panda's not here, so I'm going to at Skyen. And we're going to tag in...
was not qualified technologically, socially, emotionally.
Yeah, no. I spent 2,000 years
preparing any of
this.
this. Kind of shutting down, really.
Yeah, people are saying some. Yes, Skyen's here. I can't say the line now because I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, we're scene switching. I was gonna do Panda next just because so we like rotate and everyone gets fair time. But Panda is not here, which is why there are two of me. And I just realized Skyen's camera has also been subsumed by Panda's. For those who don't know, we use Discord, and so it shows the cameras in alphabetical order. And so if they get altered, it changes where everybody's thing is. So let me pull Skyen's camera in, and then we will do your scene. So
I assume I didn't miss anything important.
No,
it's fine. It's fine. Everything's chill.
Super chill.
Everyone's chill and fine.
Holy fuck.
So I'm gonna say Nathan and Soma, you guys can leave your headphones on at least for a bit of this, just to keep you guys involved. I don't want to have everybody headphones off the whole time. If we get to a scene that is secret, which we very well might, I might have you take your headphones off. But for now, we will run this as we go.
Ooh. Okay.
Hold on. I just I just fixed Skyen's
Christ.
camera, and now it's changed again. Skyen, from everyone's reactions, are you worried?
I'm sure it's fine. Like, you don't have a habit or a reputation for doing weird and profoundly fucked up things.
This one might be a record. Is that fair, chat? Don't give specifics, obviously, now that people are here. But like, do we think this one qualifies as a record?
That's yeah. That's it for me, at least.
Anyway, Skyen, or Grimnir, I suppose. We're gonna backtrack like what, 10, 15 minutes, something like that. Hasn't been too long. You are maybe closer to 20, but you get off on this 3rd floor. Where are you going? You're just starting to look around?
Yeah, like basically he's gonna be wandering through the hallways looking for anything that looks like this is the place where people work on whatever the thing is that this building does.
Gotcha.
And as he's going, like as he passes people in the hallway and whatever, like every once in a while he'll like dug into a bathroom or whatever and swap into the form of whoever he last passed in the hallway, like jumping between disguises, just like to make himself hard to track.
If you're doing that, which is smart, I'm not going to have you make a stealth check yet, at least, because I think you just saying that for like casually walking through the halls, that's enough. But I am going to have you make an investigation check for me.
Investigation. Let's see what the 19.
19. Okay, 19 is very good. So, you see offices of a tech company. It's not anything super crazy, but as you look through, you can definitely find like computers that people have been working on. Everything in here is just this is not like a production lab for anything that you can see. You are, and presumably that is somewhere in this building, but you are on a computer floor.
Yeah. Like, yeah, so if there's any computer, like, where someone has left it logged in, and, like, he feels like he has a window, he'll, like, skim the screen, tap a keyboard every once in a while just to see. Like, he's not good with computers, but he knows how to open a file.
Yeah, okay. After a bit of searching, you are able to find someone who has, been a bit negligent and left their computer open, so you have access to the system.
Excellent. He will, like, tap through, like, try and find any documentation that's sort of... I think actually he'll probably look for marketing material, like first, to sort of see like anything like, depending on like if it's a programmer, obviously they won't have that material. But if you can find anything that sort of says in plain language what the company does and how they do it or what their pitch is.
If you are looking for high level stuff, we'll say you get that first. If you want to keep digging, you can. Looking around for high level things, you are able to find. This is of course a tech company. A lot of their recent stuff has been with AI assistants and things like that. This is probably news to Grimnir, but like you, Skyen, as a person, it is largely what you would expect from a company that is putting out AI stuff. But it's worth noting, everything that you're looking at now is like stuff that is already published or stuff that's about to be published. You're not looking at like advanced future marketing yet. But from the stuff that they're putting out now, everything seems remarkably normal. If you have specific questions, feel free to ask. But yeah,
he's gonna sort of like look at that and go, and then start to. I think he'll just basically do a Windows or Apple's search, like anything with like the words soul, spirit, ghost, resource, like anything like that.
Okay, you know what? This is actually really. I like this. This is a funny thing. Since you search through. Soul doesn't come up with anything in the marketing. Spirit doesn't come up with anything in the marketing. When you search ghost, though, you find a document that says, there was a specific term for what this is, and I don't remember what it's called, which is frustrating me. But basically, what you find is a document of essentially PR do's and don'ts. And one thing that you find on there is like, there's like a table. And it's like, if the customer says this, the employee representative should say this, or like, don't use these terms, use these terms. And you find one that says like, don't use the term ghost. Ghost is a term that's associated with like a lot of negative connotations, horror movies, etc., etc. We prefer to use the term, I guess soul or spirit probably would be better, but like, just actually, you know what? Person. Deceased person. That's what we're gonna go with. Just don't use the term ghost because it carries like horror connotations. We prefer to use the term deceased person. for all of this stuff.
Yes, deceased person sounds much more reasonable.
It doesn't have to be reasonable. This is PR. Who cares? But yeah, that is one that you find. Now, on that document, it is pretty, like, buried. You are able to find it in, like, it seems to have been downloaded from an email. But what you can see, that the sort of heading, also I know the cameras have shifted, I'll fix it in a second. What you can see from the sort of heading that has come up at the top of the sheet, it is for what seems to be some sort of unreleased project that is dubbed, at least as a working title, Project Egregore.
Project Egregore. He will check what the hell that is.
Searching around for that, you cannot find any other information on that on this computer, at least.
Okay. Yeah, he's not really dedicated to, like, digging through this one computer.
Yeah.
He's gonna square that away in the back of his head and then move on and try and see if, like, if you can find someone's corner office, like something that looks like someone important works there.
Okay, cool. So, looking around, you can find an office that seems to be like a department head or something like that. You see one at the end of the hall.
Yeah.
The door is closed.
Okay,
for
I'm
what that's
gonna
worth.
try and get in there somehow. Is there someone around, like, whose appearance you can steal sort of immediately?
There are people milling about. We never actually established what day of the week this is, which is, I maybe should have done. But just statistically, it's probably a work day. So there are people here. You can find somebody, walking in the opposite direction pretty easily.
Yeah, he'll grab their appearance just so it makes sense that he's in this part of the building, and then he will attempt to enter the office in some way. Like, is there a doorbell? Can you knock? Is it just an unlocked door he can open?
I mean, you can. There's not like a doorbell. You could knock. You could also just go in. It's a closed door. You can't really see what's on the other side, other than that it's an office.
Okay, but there is like a doorknob I can pull on.
Yeah.
It's not like a Star Trek door. Okay, so he'll try and open it, basically.
The door opens, and the person at the desk inside looks up at you, confused.
Yeah, and he'll sort of stick some, hey, boss, you heard there's an all-hands meeting being called in just a second? They really want everyone out there right now.
What? Hold on. He kind of taps some things. The Slack channel doesn't have anything about it. Are you sure?
No, like, the guy just came down and told us, like the boss man wants to talk to everyone. It's, like, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Give me a deception check.
Absolutely. That is a 15.
15. Let me roll.
You have blessed. You can add a d4 to that.
Oh, I'll add it.
I will wait to roll until you say that.
It's an 18 now.
An 18 now. That is notably better. Okay. The guy kind of, you see him sort of like look down at his computer, like click refresh on the thing a few times. Well, I'm not doing much today anyway. All right, fine. Where is it? And he stands up from the desk, presumably ready to go.
Yeah, and he's like, I forgot my phone. I have to go collect, but it's down the hallway that, like, just points, like, in a direction. And as soon as the guy walks off, he'll, like, try and steal into the office.
The guy, like, walks halfway down the hallway and then turns back and goes, conference room B or C?
I think it was C.
Okay. And he walks away. After he, I'm assuming you're waiting until he, like, turns a corner or something.
Yeah, as soon as he's out of sight, like, close the door and start poking around.
Give me a stealth check just in case. I don't think it'll be a tough one, but seems reasonable.
That's a 19.
19 sounds fine. I'm not even, it's not like a perception check against it. Yeah, you are able to get into this office, close the door. There is no one else here. Computer is still on. There are obviously people walking around outside as usual, but you do have this office to yourself now.
Yeah, he'll like go into the try and get the emails, try and search for the project, the thing that you said.
You are able to quickly find some files that have this name attached to them. They do seem to be in some form or another encrypted, though. This is obviously like it. You know what? Let's not even go so far as encrypted. You need a password to get into this part of things.
Does this guy have, like, a Post-it note on his desk with his passwords on it?
Let me roll intelligence for this guy and see if he gets low enough to do that. That's how we're doing this right now. That may be the funniest nat 1 in D&Dorks history.
Yes! Yes!
I absolutely just love that canonically this guy's stupid. Canonically, this guy's just dumb. He's bad at this.
You look around for a password note, and 3 seconds later see a sticky note taped to the monitor that says "secret password," and then it says it.
Wow.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4,
right
yeah.
there.
Definitely somebody's son.
I can't believe I got a nat
Somebody's
1
getting fired.
That
Someone's getting turbo fired. He'll sort of look at that and go, like even he knows that is bad infosec, and like he'll type the password and open the file.
That's still dumb.
We'll make this even funnier. You look around the desk as you're looking. There are like a billion pictures of like a little Shih Tzu with like name tags on it, and the password is just his dog's name. That's like plastered everywhere over this desk.
And still he needed a post-it note.
Apparently, I got a nat 1. What is he supposed to do? All right, so yeah, you
well, average for a executive in a tech company.
You enter master hacker mode. I imagine the hardest part of this hack is typing with your bird hands. And so,
Skyen, I have the funniest thing you should absolutely do when this guy gets back. Turn back into the fucking CFO and fire his ass.
You're an undercover boss, motherfucker.
If you get caught, just
damn, that might be
your dog's name.
Undercover
asshole?
boss might be the episode title now. Because it works on a few levels.
He's shifting into that man's form right now.
Okay,
He's great.
Great.
If he comes back, I'm gonna fire this guy.
Man,
I don't want to do this company any favors, but no one should have to deal with this.
This is one of those great. This is one of my favorite D&D moments. They're so rare, but where like the line of funny bit and the line of actually practical strategy have met perfectly, and you're right at that nexus. So good. Okay, so. Yeah, you pretty easily are able to get in here. You're looking just looking for a general overview, I guess.
Yeah, any kind of project description, like what the project goals are, how they're doing it, what the resource, like anything that describes what they're doing and how and where.
So we'll say that this is a marketing floor, since we kind of already established that. So there's not a lot of technical know-how here, though you could go to another floor and check. But the what you can see is essentially Project Egregore seems to be a system that allows people to like essentially reach into the underworld with modern tech and use sort of AI frameworks to pull somebody's soul out of the underworld and essentially bring them back to life. And that is what they are very, very carefully trying to plan a marketing strategy around.
Okay. Is there any indication in his emails or anything? Like, where is this happening? Where are they doing this? Is it in this building?
Give me an investigation check, because I think that's a valid question that you might get, but you might have to dig for it. Like it would probably be implied rather than, a thing that says it like.
Yeah. He's trying. He got a 16. He's trying
16?
Just like
okay,
do they mention like off-site, or do they mention like this is happening in the basement?
Yeah, you are able to find a an email from someone in a production department that has like an area in the building on their signature, so with which you can infer that they are working on site here. And it does, yeah, in classic supervillain fashion, it does seem to be in the basement in some sense.
Yeah, he's gonna stare at that for a second and kind of go, oh. But until further notice, he's just gonna be poking through this guy's computer, trying to find out as much as possible as he can. Yeah. And maybe in the meantime, we could find out what Paul has been up to. Yes,
exactly. That was my plan. I will give you one little extra piece of info before we swap over. But that is basically right now, the AI simulations are like using underworld power, or at least that's what the marketing thinks. It's fancier than that. But they're using that to power like legitimate AI simulations. But the goal, this new tech that they're planning on rolling out, is like actually pulling souls out and like running them. But with that, let's swap on over to our not third party member, but third party split, Paul, who is going to go to a different part of this building. And maybe by pure coincidence, the part that that Grimnir was actually just finding out about. So we have a really nice transition of like zoom out of this sort of middle floor and then zoom back into the basement stuff.
You and me both, man.
Actually, oh wait,
Paul has been gone for 30 fucking minutes. I'm so scared.
Actually, if this ever gets an animated series, it like zooms out. It zooms back into the lobby, into the still frozen like AI screen, and then like passes through it and goes to like a Matrix code thing, and then zooms into Paul. So, Paul, your goal, where we left you off, was to sort of track this thing back to a source. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Following the yarn all the way back.
Yes. You give me lots of investigation checks here, but that's good. It's an investigative episode. Give me an investigation check.
Would you like to pick another one?
I think I'll stick with this.
That's a nat 1.
You think another skill would have helped?
Something.
Okay.
It would have been not that.
So, Paul, you know what? I'm actually gonna. What's a funnier way to do this? Because the easy way would be.
I got lost.
I was about to say, yeah, the easy way would be you can't find it, but that's a failure. That's not a nat 1. A nat 1 is you find it and do not know how you got there. So, Paul, navigating this network, there's a lot of complicated things going on. Things that you do not really understand, as I kind of described earlier. You are, however, able to sense a sort of, maybe a convergence point in a sense. Again, to provide an easier cue for the audience since they don't have visuals. Seems like he's sort of coming up on a server of some sense. Or like at least a network sort of access point. So you sense these more streams of these kind of arcane numbers flowing into a point that is in front of you.
Okay. So I have all of these. It's like the center of the web that I can kind of see that I stumbled ass backwards into.
Not necessarily the center, but a nexus point. I'll phrase it that way.
A center. Not the center, just a point.
And I should also say, you don't know if it's the center or not.
Cool. Yeah, fuck it. He's not gonna think any deeper about that. He's lost. He's going to go straight towards that center.
Okay. You get into this center, and let me think about sort of timing here. You get into this center, and you are able to kind of following the thread that you came from, the thread from that AI into the center. You can see that one kind of like hits this point, and the flow is different than the other ones coming in. Whether that's because you like broke it or you're disrupting the flow somehow or something different, you do not know. But the flow of the thread that you're following is definitely different than the others.
Okay. All right. So what I've been on is not the same as the other things going in and out of here. Can I try and figure out what is different about it? Like, what makes it different?
I'll go ahead and say it is presumably because there is sort of another spirit on this line that is disrupting the connection. Reasonably, like, you are the
two callers on this line
here. Yeah.
Understood. Okay. All right. Cool. So how many others do I see coming in to this point?
I don't have an exact number for you. It's quite a few. I would say, well...
Is it roughly the same number as I saw of files that Theo has of missing souls?
Smaller than that. Definitely smaller.
Smaller than that?
Yes, definitely
smaller. How much smaller than that?
There's maybe 30 to 40 at most. I don't actually remember how many people I said were gone missing, but it was more than that.
Okay.
Yes, I would say 30 at most on this point. But again, from the way that there might be other nexus points around.
Okay. Are the others that are going out of there, aside from the weirdness of mine, do they all seem fairly similar?
Yeah, they are all unique. They are not identical, but they all seem similarly constructed. I'll phrase it like that.
Okay. Is there anything going in and out of this connection point that isn't one of those? Because my thought process is all of these are different, like, kiosks with people in them. Is there a path out of here that leads to, like, a central hub of some kind?
Yes. There is one, I will say, that is notably larger than the others. You know, again, we're sort of representing this visually when it's like a weird digital arcane hellscape thing. But like, there is one that is quote unquote larger than the others and also seems maybe more stable in a sense.
Got it. Got it. In that case, I'm going to go down that one. That's I go into the Nexus point. I'm like, wow, that sure is a lot of others, and then just go straight down the big one.
You are able to follow that one, and when you get there, I will sort of do a sort of visual map for you here. This one that you get to is different than the other Nexus point. It seems more like a bubble, if that makes any sense. It is like you can't see through it, but it has a very solid edge, and you can kind of get the sense looking at it and sensing it that it is hollow. There is something in there. There are other of these large connecting nodes going over to other Nexus points, and also, notably, there is a really big one that goes down, like straight down, almost sort of mushroom-like. There's a big thing that goes down, then there's this bubble, and then there are other sort of connectors going off that bubble. And the one that goes down goes, like, far.
Gotcha. Okay, so thought process of Paul at this moment. I came in through a kiosk, which was a person. I did not see the person while I was traveling down this, but I found another Nexus that a bunch of these split off from.
Yep.
I am going to assume that these are all kiosks that serve similar purposes.
I will say
because they all have
a reasonable assumption for where you're at right now.
Gotcha. So I talked to a receptionist. There's like the 10 receptionists that sprouted off from that first Nexus point. I went a little bit deeper, and now I am at the Nexus of here's all the souls that are coming in, and they're all connected to something down there.
Yep.
Because that's where the bubble is connected above us.
Yeah, there's a different one connecting to something farther down.
Another numbers thing, looking up, I know that each one of these branches into more people. Taking into account the number of connections I saw at the first Nexus, can I assume that all of the missing souls are connected here? Like if there were 5 people that connected to the first Nexus and there's 40, then there's 4 coming off. There's like 8 coming off of this bubble.
I would say yes. If anything, there's more here than had gone missing. Though I will also say this. I believe we did establish episode 1. Technically, nobody knows how long these disappearances have been going on for. And presumably there are a lot that are unreported. So,
yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm more trying to make sure that there is a adequate number of connections to assume that all of the souls we know about are here.
Yes, I'm not necessarily going to confirm that all the souls are here, but there is enough that you are looking at where that is a reasonable assumption to make.
Right. That is the assumption that is being made, not the actual fact of it.
Correct.
Okay. Seeing that connection, seeing that there is a very deep pit that goes straight down. Yeah, I'm gonna take that. I'm following the road, and I'm following this where it leads. Eventually I'll end up in something, probably, or dead.
This is going to be really interesting, actually. Okay. You follow this down very, 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 very far. As I've said too many times, this is not technically visual, but we're representing it in visual space for the benefit of everybody involved. You are going down to where presumably a basement would be. And when you get there, you see these connections actually branch out. They do not seem to hit a central node. They expand outward into a lot of very different looking connections. What I will say, though, and I'm going to have to use vague terms here, there is, let's say, connection 1 and connection 2. There are many different branches. All of them fall into one of these 2 categories. There is one type and there is another type, kind of spread out. If you want more specifics on that, you can give me a perception check, but that is what you see immediately.
Okay. Scarlett says hi, by the way.
Hello, Scarlett.
They said hi, love.
Hello.
Okay. It goes down. Bunch of things that branch outward from the basement area.
Yes.
Same question as before. Is there one that like goes like a big one? Is there a big one that connects to something bigger, or is this like?
Allow me to rephrase. There are.
Yep.
There was a really big one going down. What you can kind of tell now, seeing the bottom, is that connection seems to be less one gigantic one and more the interweaving of all these smaller ones. If that helps.
Yeah. No, I get that. I'm saying, is there any of the various connections going into this one like super connector that is obviously contributing more than the rest?
No. There are a bunch of them. There are, like I said, 2 types of connections, but none. No, they seem different. Neither type seems more or less powerful than the other. They are just different. And again, if you want to roll me a perception check, I can give you more specifics on this.
Yeah, I want more specifics because now I'm seeing I'm in a server room with a shit ton of information.
Yeah,
and I have been an elite pad for God knows how long. Please don't fuck me on this. Okay, 16.
16. Okay, so looking at this kind of giant network of things, it's hard to figure out where they're leading sort of geographically, but you do manage to do it as you go. Connection 1, let's call it, and if you want to sort of assign names to these in your head, that's totally fine. Connection 1 seems to be very scattered. They are going to a lot of different places. They are all feeding off sort of different energy. They're not all exactly the same. They are, once again, like the ones on the top, similar but not identical. And every now and then, it's very rare, you can detect a sort of pulse from one of these, which you will have to sort of follow if you want more information on. Connection 2, however, all of these connections are going to a very close location in proximity to each other. While Connection 1 is spreading out, kind of like roots, all of Connection 2, they are ending up in like a grid, a very tight grid in one specific area. So there's one that's spread out, one that's a grid.
Okay. This is probably wrong, but my assumption is... My assumption hearing that is Connection 1 connects to the souls that are being used to essentially train the AI, and the grid is the individual AIs that are being trained.
Follow one and find out. But which one?
I'm gonna follow
on a clock here, which you don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow a random one of Connection 1. I'm gonna try and find the endpoint of one of the Connection ones
here. Oh, okay. So you follow this connection. And when you get to the end, you see, how would I describe this? Whatever the connection from this sort of digital realm to the physical realm looks like, that is what you see. Like, whatever you visualize as like, you know, whatever door you go through to leave your leap pad into the physical world or go like out of this, that's what you see. This seems to be, this ends at a machine that connects to something outside.
Okay. All right. I know you said I'm on an invisible clock. I don't know that, so I'm gonna go back the way I came.
Gonna go back,
and then I'm gonna go down a random Connection 2 and
random
see
Connection
where that
2.
ends up.
Once again, you actually see that this one also connects to something in physical space. It is a distinctly different feel. These are connecting not to the same type of machine, but with your knowledge of like how these sort of connections work, these are definitely connecting to machines in the physical world.
Okay. All right. I was trying to see if there was anything drastically different at the end of number 2. So I'm actually going to go back to this.
They do feel very different. They are different types of machines, but they are both machines.
Can I insight to feel like what kind of different? Is one hooked up to an EKG and the other's hooked up to like a fucking turntable? Like
you can investigation for it. I don't think that'd be an insight. You also, and maybe I shouldn't say this, maybe this is giving you too much, but it's also a risky play. You can try exiting into one of the machines if you would like.
I'm trying to kind of hedge my bets on which one I'm jumping into.
Yeah. Because I'll go and tell you, they will have very different results.
I can imagine. I got an 11, slightly better than average. Looking at like what different how do they feel different?
An 11. I will say that Connection 1 feels slightly more active in a sense, but keep in mind that that is what I am telling you off an 11, so that is nowhere near the full picture. But, like, if you had to call one of them more active, it would be Connection 1.
I'm going back down the Connection 1 that I first went down, and
Okay.
I am going to jump into the... I'm going to open the door. I'm going to jump into whatever's on the other side. You
open the door. I actually need you to describe something about Paul for me so that I can describe this.
Don't like that.
When Paul is inside like the leap pad, what is Paul's like sensation? Is he like a ghost next to the leap pad, or can he quote unquote like feel the leap pad? Does that make sense?
I kind of think of it as possession. So in the broadest of terms, the reason he calls it a talk box is I kind of imagine it like all of a sudden he is the leap pad. He has a consciousness possessing the leap pad, and all the leap pad can do is talk. So he can't really see him. Yeah.
So he can
see through the camera and talk through the speaker, but that's about all he can do. And when he possesses machines, he kind of just... Great. It's like if you jumped into a new body.
Yes. The reason I ask is because I wanted to know if I should describe this as you are looking at it or as you are it, you know?
Ah, that's bad.
And as you go into this thing, the first thing that you notice is, of course, like around you, right? If you are seeing out of this device, you're going to see what's around you before you see yourself. And you see nothing, actually. You are in a sort of void. It's very hard to get any sort of magical aura off this. Make me an Arcana check right off the bat to see if you can get any area of your surroundings, and then I'll tell you what machine you are actually in.
Why is it one or the other? I get 3 types of rolls. I get I'm fucked, I get absolutely middling, or I get the best rolls of all time. That's a nat 20.
Nat 20? Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. You're getting nat 20.
This is the entire building.
Yeah, you are getting nat 20s at the most important time, like for lore, though, I will say.
Woo!
You know this place because you've been there before.
What?
You immediately recognize this. This is a space essential. Think of it like an abyss empty purgatory. It is a sort of spaceless realm between afterlives and between the mortal realm and the afterlife.
Oh!
You immediately get a sense of like deja vu for being here. Not because you died. When you die, you go straight to a place. This is somewhere different that you have somehow accessed before. And the shape that you find yourself in is very hard to parse, I would imagine. You are not a humanoid shape right now. You're, of course, used to not humanoid shapes.
I must scream.
You're used to being in a leap pad, but this shape does have some, well, not a humanoid shape, a humanoid feel to it. There are parts of you that feel organic, but parts of you that feel distinctly not. And these two seem in some sort of opposition to each other. And as you process this, you realize that you are in one of the extractor arms.
Oh! No! Okay.
I like this episode a lot. This is one of my favorites, lore-wise.
Realizing that I'm in a fucking I have no mouth and I must scream robot arm.
Yep.
I am gonna, apparently in the black space, I am gonna go back. I'm turning around.
Into the network?
Yeah, I'm going back into the network. I found out I'm an arm and went, bad!
Back into the network it is. All right.
Back into the network. I'm going to go back down connection 2, and I'm going to jump into that machine and figure out what the fuck's on that end.
All right. I love these two connections because these really show the dichotomy of what this series is, supposed to be. So coming out of the weird body horror, creepy abyss void space of the extractor arm, you now go into connection 2. and you go into this thing and immediately get a sense of opening your eyes. And I mean that literally. I do not mean you get a sense of sight. You get a sense of, like, vision activated. And if you look down, you are in a robot. A very sleek, very shiny, a Turnatech aesthetic looking robot body that is sort of in a, like, grid rack with several others matching the pattern that you saw them connecting to in the network.
Can I make a check to see how many there are?
There's probably, I would say, maybe like 20. There's not a lot, but it's not like 2, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Going back into the network again, or as I was passing the network, roughly how many connection ones did I see?
Oh, there were at least like 50. The twos were more noticeable because they were clustered. There's a lot of these connector networks.
Fuck. Okay. Is there anything holding the robot body in?
There is. Yeah, I mean it's on like a rack thing. It is in. Looking around, you seem to be in like a production facility. Notably, I guess I should say there are like some scientists like milling around doing some work. It's not like an abandoned factory.
Well, I was very lost, and my only other option is going back out of the receptionist that I only found because I got lost. This is a bad plan. I'm going to admit that out front so that the viewers don't yell at me. This is a bad plan.
You think that's going to stop him?
But as I see the scientists walking around, I'm assuming the other robots seem deactivated.
From what
I am
tell,
just
yeah.
simply going to watch one of them as they walk past.
Turn your head and give him a real creepy ass moment. All right, let me do a perception
just
check.
the robot standing completely still, and then their head locks on and just watches them move.
He got a 4. He didn't see you.
Cool. Am I strapped in any capacity?
You are held in if you tried. Well, first off, well, no, you figured out that you can move because you did the head tilting. If you tried hard enough, you could probably get out of this thing. You are not like industrial strapped in.
Just for my own visuals, you can tell me if I'm wrong. I'm imagining that the robots kind of look like if Apple designed a person. So just like iRobot and no screws.
I would say that. I would also say they don't have faces. They have like sort of rounded screens.
Flat.
Yeah, not even flat.
Cool.
I'll come up with a better visual for it later, but like almost.
I get it.
Yeah, you get the sense. The Apple person, but like screen face.
If Apple designed an Android, so overly sleek and 0 ways to get in.
Yeah.
So I think the first thing that I'm going to do is, okay, I follow the connections.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not assuming I'm in the internet, so Paul's assuming he's in the building still. Saw the scientist walk past. Scientist didn't look at him. Cool. It's alive. So he's just gonna fucking Frankenstein pull his arms out of the restraints and try and start walking.
Doable. I actually want you to give me a perception check really quick before you do that. And then might bounce back over. This is a good investigative episode.
I got a 4.
I got a 4. You know what? I'm actually just going to say that you see this because it's more of a bit. I shouldn't have made you do a perception check for it anyway. But
Lovely.
As you are doing this, you catch there's a reflective sort of metal surface near you, and you catch a glimpse of the robot form that you are in. While all the others have these blank screens, the robot that you are in has your face on the screen, which, to remind everybody, is just a skull. So there is this slightly green-tinted, fully realistic skull implanted on the face of this stock blank robot that is now ripping itself out of this
shit
thing.
out of an Apple employee. Let's go.
Yeah. From the way that you phrase that, I don't think you were doing that very subtly.
No.
So yeah, there's a chorus of screams as one of the robots just starts ripping itself off of this thing.
For context, I'm kind of imagining it's kind of like pinned in the way that like like Frankenstein or Darth Vader was like pinned down to the board. So I'm imagining he just and then just kind of starts trying to walk.
Yep. And on that wonderful note, I think we're gonna bounce back around to you two, but everyone keep your headphones on this time. Everyone keep your headphones on this time. I say you two. Disco
Equally fun circumstance, gang.
Yeah.
Everyone's having a real fun horror time, and then Skyhan's looking at a hacked
I have a very important question.
Yeah.
Will you allow me to have somehow magically concealed my shield and my sword on my person?
Okay, question. Do you, like, I'll go and say, if you had them, like, you could have gotten in. Like, it's, do you have a specific reason for them being, I mean, who, is, I mean, is there a mechanical way that you could do that within your kit?
No.
Okay, yeah, you have them.
You don't have access to disguise self or something in your spell list?
I do not.
He's a war cleric, so I think most of his spells are either like
insight
or combat. Yeah, I mean,
wearing my suit.
Yeah, this is very, like, you've got the shield sword on your back with the suit. Cool imagery. But yeah, you have that, I think. So
I wield those.
Yeah. Are you like, I remember we left off after the cool line that I won't repeat to not spoil things for people who didn't hear it the first time. Are you like charging at him? I assume.
Oh yeah.
I need you to make a dex save for me.
Can do. Is this something that is only targeting me?
Yeah, it is.
An extremely rare occurrence where I get to do this cool thing. I get to add an additional +2 to this. Or is it advantage? Let me check real quick. Feats. When things are only... Oh, you can add your shield's AC bonus to your dex, though, against effects that target only you. Yeah, so I get an additional +2 to this. So for that, it is a 15.
A 15, all right. I forgot how strong I made this guy, but you were the one that said you wanted scary things.
Yeah.
The good news is that this attack that I'm about to hit you with doesn't do any damage.
Okay.
So, as you charge at Mr. Eterna, he stands there, again, not in any sort of costume, well, he's kind of super villainy mode now, but still, like, on a first glance, you would think that he was pretty much a normal person until you notice the parts of him that aren't. However, that changes very briefly because as you charge at him, he very casually just stretches out a hand towards you, and that arm explodes in what I can only describe as a beam of shifting flesh that wraps around you. If your sword cuts into it, it starts bleeding and does not stop in its movement. It grabs you, and he pulls you in very close and says, you know, I really, genuinely did not want it to come to this, but here we are. Business is business. And he throws you out the motherfucking window.
Wait, no!
Okay.
Grimnir, remember when I asked you how many floors below you were? You hear a crash from above you of this glass window shattering.
He's gonna go look at what's going on there.
Yeah, if you look out and look up, you see a tumbling H.A.D.E.S in a shower of glass. Do you have anything? You've got a chance to do something
try
about
and
this.
Shatter the window in front of him and dive after.
I mean, yeah. Are you like when you say shatter the spell, or are you
shatter it
something?
or open it? Like if it can be opened, he'll try and do that. But other than that, otherwise he'll smack it.
Yeah, you can definitely find something heavy enough on the desk to chunk at the window, something sharp enough. And yeah, you smash the window along with, and are. I mean, I don't need to make you do a roll to leap out the window. So yeah, you leap out after him.
And I'm gonna dive and try and catch him, essentially.
I mean, you are a bird. So can you
Yes.
can you fly? You can fly.
I have a flight speed of 15 feet per second.
Okay, you do have a flight
15
speed.
feet
Cool.
per turn. Yeah.
You are able to catch up to him pretty quickly. Now you are on like the 50th story, so you have some time to do something. But yeah, you can catch up to him. Are you trying to like catch him and then fly somewhere else? Like carry him?
I'm trying at the very least to slow him down, or if there is a pool of water down below, conveniently.
Let's say one thing at a time. Give me a strength check to see if you can slow him down.
That's a 16.
A 16? That's actually pretty good. Okay, so grabbing onto Theo.
Yeah, because like it's worth remembering for the purposes of mechanics, I am small.
Yeah.
Which means that like Theo is like a whole weight class above me in terms of like strength to move and strength to pull around.
Yeah. So yeah, you have not stopped him, but I'll say you have slowed his fall enough, and then you've got some time to figure out what to do next. So Theo, after being just thrown out the window, actually, you know what? Hold on, you're gonna take 6 damage, not a lot, but you did get thrown through shards of glass, so that's gonna do at least a little bit to you. So you get thrown out of this window, and as you are tumbling down, you hear a second shattering of glass, and then a dark figure just dash out like horizontal and catch you, sort of slowing your fall down, but you are still falling at quite a great speed.
Theo just shouts, "Get me back in that room! I have a devil to kill!"
I am the size you are. Do something. Like flat, trying to slow this man down.
Yeah, that's all I got to say.
All right, cool. So at this point,
you have any spells that will help?
Yeah, this is the point where I'm saying, do you guys have anything that you can do, or are external circumstances, which might include the ground, going to come into play?
I'm going to reach out to my mother.
Theo calls for his mommy as he's plumbing 50 stories. God, I really like this episode. I love this episode.
The audio of this is catch. Do something! Get me back in that window! I have a devil to kill! Mommy!
I am going to roll percentile dice, and if I get less than 10, 10 or less,
such a pull.
divine intervention.
Oh, that'd be such a pull.
What happened?
Please.
1 in 10, 5% chance. It's just like critting. Where
have you been
is...
defenestrated from a skyscraper? Call your mom.
Call your mom.
Call your mom.
And Soma's alone in there now. Ain't that funny?
All right, Mom. All right, Mom. Now's your time to shine. Please. No, that is...
All right.
That is...
Okay, so you have fallen...
Like the phone rings in Athena's office, and she's just like, "Oh, it's him again. Not now."
Send him to speaker. I'll call him back.
Wow.
So you have fallen several stories at this point. Your fall has been slowed, but there's still a long way to go. I really got to go to the bathroom right now. I think this is a great time.
That's a great time.
I think this is a wonderful time. You know, he's got some more stories to fall. I'll be quick. We'll just take a break here, and we'll see how things go
totally.
in a couple minutes. So I hope everybody's enjoying the episode so far. We are actually going to take our break now because we're at just over 2 hours, which is great. So we will be back in a couple of minutes. We will see you guys then. Don't go anywhere.
Lovely.
Oh my God.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Matt Chat. How are y'all doing today? You liking the episode? I personally love this one. I loved the things that I had planned, and obviously this is an unscripted show, so you never know if the things that you plan are going to go exactly as you think. And completely independently, every decision that the players have made so far has set them up perfectly for things that I already had planned as like possible options. So it's been great. I love this one. Favorite episode of the series, amazing episode, my favorite Agents episode. Everyone's super hyped for it, which is great. I love this one. And it's going to get cooler. It's going to get cooler. We are only halfway through, and there's so much more. We're halfway through the show now, technically, aren't we? I mean, if you count this one as separate, which it's supposed to be. But yeah, this is halfway through episode 2 of 3. So we are only halfway through the series as a whole. What class is Paul? That's a great question that I genuinely don't remember the answer to. I'll have to ask Panda. Now he's a robot, I guess. But that is different. Tactical Raven and Hacker Ghost are my favorite. Dude, when Panda told... I can kind of say this now. When Panda told me that he was going to play a Ghost in Elite Pad, he had no idea that this... He had zero idea that this series was going to deal with, like, souls in machines. That was pure coincidence. And I was so excited about that. And I couldn't say anything, obviously. But it was great. It was such a good pick. Last of the series that we know of. Last of Agents of Hades Metastatic. If there's more Agents of Hades, which I would like to do. I meant of Agents 2, which I really need to fix the We'll Be Right Back screen so it's the new logo. But whatever. Whatever. What if the meeting Sky and lied about was Robo-Paul breaking out? I mean, I guess it could be. By pure coincidence. I love the series. I love this world. I'm glad you do. There's a lot of really, really cool stuff in this world that I've like started hinting at, and I haven't. I don't think there's enough for you to like piece things together yet. But there are things that like if I get to continue doing things in this world, which I would love to do. How do I phrase this? There are things that have been said in Agents of Hades that like, if I get to keep doing stuff in this world, you can go back and watch Agents and be like, oh, which I'm very happy about. That was one thing that I really wanted to set up. My gender is Paul. Your gender is Ghost. I kind of wonder how the characters would have been built in Mutants and Masterminds. I would love to be, I would have loved to do this on a superhero system. I've said that a few times, but this also came at like the same time that we were overhauling our backend, our tech stuff. And I just didn't want to add another variable. I just didn't want to add, ultimately I'm glad I didn't, because I don't think any of us, except for maybe Sky, I don't know, haven't played Mutants and Masterminds. And I was like, if we're all learning a new system, that's going to bog things down. That's going to lower the amount of time I have. So I didn't want to do that, but... Oh, we're going to see Lord Cringe in a screen. That is certainly something that, with the established information, could happen. Yep. I hope you guys can get an animated show one day. I would love to. I have considered... And maybe I shouldn't say this yet, but, like, I will, because if people get excited about it, that's a good thing. I have considered, after, like, this would be the beginning of next year, trying to get, like, a Kickstarter going to fund, like, an animated pilot of this. Because I know animators. I know people, not necessarily that, like, I could hire, but I know really good professional animators who I could, like, consult for stuff. I'm like, that'd be fun. I would love to do that. I would love to do that. Any tips for choosing a college? Choosing a college? I don't know. I went to the college that I did because I got a scholarship, so I didn't have to pay for tuition. My real tip though, and then I'll end this lovely wholesome chat with some real life advice. I don't have picks for advice for choosing a college, but I will say for choosing a major, pick a major that you're interested in. Don't pick a major that someone else tries to like convince you is better. Don't pick one that's like more practical. And this is actually kind of relevant because I picked business and I did not enjoy that, and now I write stories where corporate businessmen are supervillains. Hey, I did bring it back in. What do you know? But yeah, pick a major that you enjoy, because whether it's practical or not, you will be spending a huge chunk of your life for the next 4-ish years on that thing. And if you are doing something that you do not like, it will suck. So pick a major that you're interested in, and if you're interested in it, you'll make it work, because you have interest. That's my real advice. Anyway, I am going to call the Matt chat here. So thank you all for listening. We will be back in, I mean, I shouldn't say a time, but like 2 minutes, maybe, something like that, to continue the episode. And in case anyone's wondering, Theo's just been falling this whole time. It's like that scene in where Loki's been falling. He's just in stasis. All right, hello everybody. We are back, kind of. The cameras are wrong. Panda said he had to go handle something and we'll be back in like 10 to 15 minutes. So we're just going to go ahead and keep going because he's conveniently not in this scene anyway. So everybody just, you know, we can wait for another 30 seconds while I fix the cameras, right? No one will be mad about that. Everything's fine. Everything's cool. Where's that bird face?
Yeah, nothing important is happening anyway.
Nothing important is happening. No. So, anyway, how's the weather where you guys are?
Oh, I got to write down.
You know?
I do like, how well did this bit carry over when I went, ah! Does that do good? This mic should not pick it up as soon as I like turn away.
I was looking at mechanics things, so I actually have no idea.
It was an audio thing.
We'll have to go through the recording and see.
It is. It is 2. I just have to. I'm doing notes for TikTok.
We're doing notes for TikTok. You know.
Coming back from break at 2:30.
Coming back from break at 2:30. Just chilling, having a cool casual time.
Totally cool
anyway, I guess I should ask one more thing. Nathan.
Yeah.
Do you have a way to not die here?
No, I'm just gonna tank it, I think, and
we were discussing this while we were waiting, and we did come to the conclusion off camera that there's probably not a lot that can be done here, but Theo legitimately might be able to tank this fall as a demigod. So we will pick back up, maybe 2-3 floors down they fell during the break. Back to you guys.
Falling.
All right. Anything you guys want to say, or am I going to have to roll some damage here in a second?
I mean, the only thing I can think of is that I do have a rope. I don't know that I have a grappling hook necessarily, but like getting a dagger onto the rope, trying to throw it around like a telephone pole or anything to sort of try and slow us down.
Just try to like swing, like Spider-Man it. Is that what I...
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? It's a superhero series. I'll take cool Spider-Man bullshit. Give me a sleight of hand check. I know it's generous on you, but it's going to be... We'll
That's
see.
A 24.
A 24? Okay. So, here is what I would say then. What you've got right now, and I'm going to describe this quick because I'm trying to think about this timing-wise. You now have a grappling hook. You are also still holding on to Theo. Theo is not attached to this grappling hook right now. And if you hit and swing, the gamble is, can you hold on to him while you... Or is he just going to get knocked free from your grasp?
Yeah, I'm going to try and get the, hold on to the rope. Hold on to the rope.
Okay.
Hold on to it.
Theo, give me a strength check to see how well you can hold on to this rope, or if you're going to power slam into the ground last second.
All right. That's a nat 20.
You're kidding me.
That's a nat 20.
Theo.
Oh my god. No way. Woo! Oh, Panda's gonna be so pissed. We're gonna come back and we're gonna tell Panda, oh yeah, Theo's fine. He took no damage, and he's gonna be terrified. he's gonna think something like awful happened.
That's what I'm talking about,
okay,
baby.
So let me describe that. You guys are plummeting as you are falling down. I said 50 stories. I looked it up in the middle. It would probably realistically be more like 70 to 80. You are plummeting down these stories. Grimnir sets up this makeshift grappling hook, and on like the last 2 floors, hooks it around like a flagpole or something tall enough. Theo grabs onto the rope, and right like a foot above the ground, this rope hits its full extension, and you Spider-Man swing. Imagine at that speed doing like a full loop.
Yeah.
Before... Realistically, we could say that you have a cool superhero landing dismount, or we can say that you are dangling from this flagpole, clinging to this thing like a baby, and I will let you pick which one of those you want.
I think I grabbed onto it in such a way that, like, there are certain knots you can do that the harder you pull, the tighter they get. I just did that around my hand.
It's gonna hurt your hand like hell, but...
So I think I'm just like dangling by one hand from this from this flagpole, from this light pole, whatever it is. And I think I just cut myself loose and fall to the ground.
Okay, cool. Amazing life-saving nat 20 possibly right there. We actually need to run the numbers just for fun. I'm not going to do like the actual roll. Wait, do you want me to actually roll it?
Roll the damage.
Okay, sure. Let's see. You said your
77 would have killed me.
And we determined it was what, 19d6, I think?
It was
Something
19
like that, yeah.
because Grimnir would have slowed me
All
a
right.
little bit. I think the average damage is 50 something for that. The average damage is 57, so not that far away.
It's hitting this. 16, 17, 18, 19. 62. You would have you would have been on your last leg. And notably, this is not like a go and long rest situation, so
yeah. No, I would have been at But
I also probably would have said you had a broken leg or something. Like that would not have been that would not have been a you walk around and if you get hit, like you would have had injuries from that.
As soon as I land on the ground, I am freeing up my hand, which is probably just rope burned and like damn near disconfigured.
Oh, it's fucked up. Hope that's not your sword hand.
And it is of no question to me. It is of no worry on my mind. I am immediately standing up and looking for the entrance to the building because I need to get back up to the top floor.
As that's happening, Grimnir, where are you headed? I'm assuming you dropped him and sort of swerved off.
Dropped him, like swerved off, like sort of catches himself, nearly slams into the building.
Cool.
Himself and just sort of goes, "What the hell just happened?" Like Theo, and like he's trying to follow him to figure out what the hell's going on.
Cool. Now I think we'll cut over one more time because there was that fall took a minute or two, I would imagine. So Soma, we'll backtrack a couple minutes. He just chunked your cousin out the window.
You've got a lot of fucking nerve.
And not the first time I've heard that, no. So, are you going to do anything? Are you going to... Well, there's a window that's open now, so...
Well, to be completely honest, in what is rare for me, not sure it's worth immediately swinging right now.
Good choice. After that, he, retracts the stuff back into himself. Very gross, wet sounds as he does this. But then, with, the wind whistling through this now smashed open window, for, I imagine, a very sort of ominous soundscape, he just kind of goes and sits back down at the desk. Goes, so, what's your plan then? Are you going to leave? I don't take you for the type to be interested in all this, and I'm sure your cousin is, well, either a puddle on the ground or running back up here as fast as he damn well can.
How do you mean interested in all this? What, joining?
Not as much joining as leaving me alone and letting me do my work without interfering, but...
No, but you are a weird little freak, and we're on your home field. It's disadvantageous.
Smart, once again. You would do good in business. I mean that genuinely.
Is this what war has come to? Growth for the sake of nothing? I killed that family. Even I had a reason for that.
For the sake of nothing. You know, I like that you've brought up that point, Soma, because you're a conqueror. I've read files, information on you. I do think we have a few more of your victims in the system somewhere. But you're a killer, yes? You're a killer, you would describe yourself as?
Very much so.
He leans forward on his desk, surprisingly casually, with, all that's gone down. He just kind of puts his hands together and is silent for a moment with, again, this wind ominously whistling through. And after a few seconds of this, he just kind of looks up at you and goes, this might sound like a random question, but Are you familiar with the phrase taking a life, that general terminology?
Yes. I've killed people.
Exactly. Exactly. See, taking a life, it means to kill. It means to kill. And I've never really understood that, because let's be honest, as in some sense killers ourselves, what's the point, really? I mean, if I'm to kill somebody, nothing is gained. I don't get anything out of that situation. I'm destroying. I'm not taking anything, right? Doesn't make any sense, really. He kind of leans back in his chair, sort of more talking to the air in general at this point rather than to you. No, taking a life is different. See, I don't want to kill anyone. I want to change them, to alter them in some way. Instead of killing, I want to make it so that when I have an effect on someone for every day of their miserable little lives, they think about me. They look back on me and what I've done and how, well, tragically, if they had been just a little bit stronger, a little bit faster, a little bit luckier even, then, well, they maybe could have avoided the truly unspeakable things that I did to them and the ones they love. Killing doesn't do anything, but I can make myself inescapable. That, Soma, that is gain. That is what it means to take someone's life. And me, I have a nasty little habit of taking every goddamn thing I see. So, with that in mind, what are you going to do right now?
I'm gonna try to kick him out the window. I'll just try
All right.
and kick him out the window.
All right. Go for that attack roll.
All right. Hey! Okay, what is my barehanded unarmed strike? Yep, that still adds that. 18, 25.
25. All right.
Yes.
25 is going to hit. So are you're just kicking him?
I try to kick him out that open window.
All right. You rush towards him. He's behind his desk, so I'm imagining there's some element of like leaping, kind of sliding, kicking him out of this.
Yeah, he like side vaults over it and like comes in to swing with the kick. You know what I mean?
Your foot goes into his chest and sticks. He does not move an inch. That was stupid.
And you're no fun.
He stands up, and as he does, his body, like going beyond the bounds of the suit at this point, stretches and extends so that your foot is still like locked in place as the rest of his body shifts to stand up and go look out the window to see what has become of the other person in his office. He goes, I didn't think he'd make that. Think I can throw 2 people out a window in one day? Is that too cliche?
It's a little indulgent.
Indulgent. Sure. You're out the window. So, yeah.
Is he screaming loud enough for me to hear him?
I would imagine it's pretty goddamn loud, yeah.
Right, so Grimmer is going to be following Theo. Theo, what the hell happened up there? Oh, for God's sakes! Flap, 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 flap.
Take the grappling hook!
And here we are again. Yeah. You're gonna try the same. You're gonna try the same plan. What's the I should know. He is larger.
His flying speed is quite slow. He only has 15 feet per turn, so that's 15 feet per 6 seconds. So he'll be meeting him somewhat lower to the ground there.
Yeah. Also, if you're trying to slow his falling speed, it will be a harder check because he is bigger.
Yeah.
That's
so
true.
is that the goal? I assume. If so, give me a strength check. If not,
like I think it's I only had the one rope, and that's currently hanging on the flagpole, and that's a 16 again.
I did say it was gonna be harder, so I don't think that's gonna he's way too heavy. for you to grab.
But surely getting thrown out of a window would make someone quite angry.
Oh yeah, I should rage.
Yeah, you can 100%. Yeah, I wasn't gonna say it, but you can 100% rage on the way down.
Surely that would make someone furious.
I forgot that battle ability can be done outside of battle.
You definitively have enough. I mean, you could consider this battle. It's not initiative battle, but you could consider it. I don't think that's too much of a stretch of the imagination. Yeah.
You know, it's been such a day. We forgot about all the emotions, including rage.
Yeah. So you rage, but I do think that you are just gonna. Panda joined at such a funny time. What I say, you are just gonna hit the ground.
Hi, sorry. What did I miss?
A lot. A bit. Nothing. So okay, so I'll hold on. Let me fix fix the cam.
Yeah.
Let me fix it so it's not doubled on me. So Panda, do you remember where you left off? That's the wrong person. Where Theo was falling to the ground?
Yeah.
Okay, so Soma's just hit the ground.
Oh, okay, so they both got thrown.
There was some time that happened in there, but yes, they did both get thrown. What is your how does the damage work on that, Soma? You half it?
He'll have it.
Okay, so this will almost certainly not kill you. But let's see how much damage you're gonna be taking.
You telling me he can't just tuck and roll?
Wow. The exact number that would have killed H.A.D.E.S, 77.
Sheesh.
Wow.
But it is halved. It is halved.
Yeah, 35, 37.
30. Or wait, 30.
No, wait, no,
you can round it down.
38, 39. So
yeah, you can round it down. So yeah, how much health do you have total? Like overall, not just
105.
Okay, so you're okay. You're okay.
Yeah, we're chilling.
For a non-combat
like half my health, but we're chilling.
But you know.
So Soma's gonna hit the ground with like Grim just sort of like trying to hold on to him, dropping him at the last minute, and like tumbling down to the ground beside him. It's like, what the hell? What are you two doing up there?
And yeah,
Soma's raging. All you get out of some stupid son of a bitch, fucking with your big fucking words and fucking speeches, growth for no fucking reason. Fuck.
And then Theo, you hear a scream, a very loud sound of a crater being formed in concrete, and then angry yelling from behind you.
Without even turning back, I say, "Get up, Soma! We're going back up there."
All right.
Climbing out of the crater.
There are tons of people like taking pictures of this, by the way. Like there are a lot of bystanders watching this happen for what it's worth.
Remember when this was a stealth mission?
It was that for a little bit. And now, speaking of stealth missions, let's cut over real quick to the possessed robot that just tore himself out of a storage thing.
Golly.
We have 3 of the party reunited. Let's see if we can get that 4th one back in there. So yeah, you tear yourself out of this thing, Paul. That's audible, and there's an immediate mass panic in this lab.
Of course there is.
Mm-hmm.
How scary do I want to be to them? As I am,
I'm gonna go ahead and
shuffling,
say, your lower threshold is still very high on how scary you're gonna be. Let me phrase it that way.
Gotcha. As I am like shambling up, I don't know how to use this thing's voice box yet. So using its mechanical noises, as in fans, grinding computer bits, any of that sort of thing, I'm going to try and eke out the words, "Paul is friend," as you hear like the machine parts grinding together inside the head.
That's really cool. I have absolutely no idea what check to make you do for that. Anyone have any suggestions?
Performance?
That's sure.
For manipulating technology? Yeah, sure, why not?
I mean, he is you. Screw it. Performance. That's fine. Why not?
19.
Hey-o.
Okay, yeah, cool. So you actually
It's not helpful, but
I was about to say, yeah, you managed to actually eke out the words "Paul is friend." And unfortunately, the grinding mechanical noises from a robot that I should note should be able to speak normally. Don't help. If anything, that does make it worse. After a moment, you see like an alarm start blaring.
Gotcha. I look up at it and I'm like, Paul goes, oh no, stealth mission. Grabs the closest thing that he can find and hucks it at the alarm as hard as he can.
The red light has turned off. Nothing else has changed. At this moment, we are going to very briefly cut over to the rest of the party rushing into the lobby, where blast doors are going to suddenly lower and over the lobby walls. Actually, I guess since this is a largely glass building, after you get in, they are going to actually, raise up from the floor. So this building is now locked down. Notably, I'll go. The audience and you guys can probably logically figure out that the reason is Paul. Soma, Theo, Grimnir, you have no idea what the actual reason for this lockdown is. You do not know that it is Paul. We are not going to do your scene right now. We'll cut back to Paul, but just for future notice. So, Paul, you have smashed the alarm light.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm going to try and take in my surroundings as best as I can now that I am free and mobile.
Okay.
I'm not taking too much time, but I am scanning everything to try and figure out where I am. How many robots are there? How many people are there? What's going on? Because I was just surfing the web for a while.
Give me a perception for that.
Does the robot have any sensors that might help him?
That's a good question. I will take it into account for the answer, but I don't think you would know how to use them, so I won't change the roll.
You know what? Secondary question. I got a 14, by the way.
Okay.
Secondary question. What does seeing look like for me? Is it a camera? Like, is it just a base camera with no HUD at all? It's just.
I would say it's a
visual
very.
feed?
It's a very. Yeah, actually, sure. It is a good camera. It is a very, very, very high definition. This campaign takes place in the 2030s. Fantastic camera. There is not like a HUD or anything notable for you. It seems fairly simple, fairly bare bones, actually.
Got it. Okay. Look, I'm trying to I got a 14 on perception, scanning the room. I'm looking around, trying to kind of get as much information as I can, because that was the original intent. I am Paul as Paul as he is. He does recognize that this is not part of the plan and needs to start improvising.
Yeah, it is very difficult to get a sense of how many people are here, because this is a place that is in like an active panic. I will say, if you look around, you can see where a lot of people are running to, which is presumably an exit.
Got it.
I don't know if that's where you're going immediately, though, but just for note, you are able to find that. Around, this is a lab where people are working on these robots. The ones that you are in seem finished, as best you can tell. There are bits and pieces of them scattered around. It would take more investigation and some pretty high intelligence rolls to actually figure out like the nature of what's going on here, but that's the gist of what you see.
Got it. Tons of robots. Is there any docks like mine? Because I remember there was like 10 robots in my dock. Is there any other docks in the room that have bodies in them?
There were like 20 in yours. Let's say there's like one that's got like 3, but it's not like there's an army of them here.
They're stocking up. They're in the process of stocking.
There is a lot that is here, but there is not like they seem to be making more.
Is there anybody running past me?
In the chaos, there will eventually be someone running past you.
Gotcha. I, as me as I am, do recognize the fact that I am scary, which is usually why I drop Paula's friend at the start. That doesn't seem to be working, and these people seem to be running. So intimidation mode is on. I'm going to catch one of them by the neck as they try and run past me and hold them up as best that I can.
I'm going to roll for you because you don't know the physical nature of the robot that you are in.
Got it.
I I have to make some calls about where this robot is in its stages of development right now. Okay.
I'm about to Omni-Man some motherfucker on accident. Just
Okay. I need you to make me a perception check.
lovely. Fuck me. Not 20.
God damn, you get the best lore things, I swear to God.
I'm scanning for lore. I want the story.
You get the best little lore drops. Okay, so you are able to catch a person with this you know, fling out an arm, and you kind of hold them up. You do not crush them or anything like that. But as you're sort of analyzing, you see like nodes or like pods almost open up in the arm. They don't do anything, but there are clearly like something has activated and nothing has followed it. Maybe this is an unfinished feature. You don't know what it is, but like you grab somebody, something happens in the arm where you do that.
Gotcha. The arm that I do that, something kind of comes out of it. Gotcha. So noticing that, like, taking that in, I look back at the person. He just holds him, pulls him in, and goes, "Explain, lab," in the same kind of grindy voice that he had before.
This guy saw you like look at the arm node things, and whether that's what you're asking about specifically or not, since you explicitly said you like turned your head to look at them. This guy sort of frantically and hysterically, I don't know, that's not my department, that came from corporate, there was another lab that did that part, we just had to put it in, we got the blueprints and we integrated it, I don't know what it's for, or if it's finished, please don't kill me.
He's gonna hold him back out again, and in the exact same tone, almost like it is repeating the same voice line, "Explain, lab." That's it. That's what he's saying. He's just staring at him.
This is the. Do not. I mean, aren't you one of the is where we're creating the vessels for Project Egregore, which it's an early stage protocol. Really, we don't have any specifics on how exactly it's going to work, but it's the vessels for the extracted souls, which I guess is what you are. Why is your face a skull?
Holding him. Taking all of that in, trying to store it in whatever mechanics I have as best as possible.
Excuse me.
Pulls him in again. Extracted souls. Why?
It's just what I get paid. It's for. I thought it was for the. Should I have you make an intimidation check, right? I don't think you need to. I think you've pretty much surpassed check levels for this.
Can he possibly not be intimidated by
him? Yeah, I don't think. There was a brief thought in my mind where it was like, intimidation check, and then I thought, no. So, yeah, he continues sort of blubbering as people are running around. It's for the project. I don't know. It's for there's something for something is going to come out of the extractor arms and populate the constructs.
Okay. All right. Again, at taking that in. Where? Boss.
I report to Henry Smith and that's probably not what you but up top of the building, don't kill Henry. He's a pretty good boss. He brings donuts in on Saturdays when we have to work overtime, which they make us do.
We're friends.
I don't have my friends or your friends.
As he's holding him, realizes that this guy isn't going to be able to tell him anything more. As he holds him, pulls him in as close as he can get to the face plate that I have.
The skull. The digital skull.
The digital skull. Pulls him in and goes, tell anybody I was here, with a kind of question sound.
This panicked guy kind of looks around at the room of screaming scientists with the alarm noise still blaring at full volume, and just kind of, I think they know. Please don't kill me. If it was up to me, I wouldn't have turned on the alarm.
He feels the hand clench down a little harder.
He screams so loud.
And then Paul just tosses him aside and turns around and starts walking towards the door.
Notably, the things in your arm retract back in once you are not touching the guy anymore.
Got it.
Yeah, you start kind of just charging your way towards the door.
Yeah. He is notably kind of trying to blend in as best as possible.
Give me a stealth check with 10 times disadvantage.
You want to know the funniest part is that I have a plus 12 to stealth, so let's see what this actually gives.
I was kidding, but now I kind of want to see what would happen.
I got a 16 with disadvantage, so...
With 10 times I was not... You're not blending in.
How do I 10 times disadvantage?
Roll 10 times, take the... I was kidding, but if you want to do this...
Yeah, fuck it, why not?
20 and take the lowest of all 10.
Yep.
Yeah, one of them's gonna be a 1, surely.
50%
surely, right?
Surely. 10 times disadvantage.
I was fully kidding. I just want everybody to know
16,
that before
19,
we do
13,
this bit.
5, 6, 9. Damn it.
Did you get the 1?
I don't think so. I think the smallest that I saw was a 5 plus 12.
Okay.
17.
I shouldn't have indulged this bit. People still see the shambling skull robot.
Of course they do.
I shouldn't have indulged this bit.
How well do I blend into the crowd? I'm not saying I'm trying to disappear.
Yeah. So you go up the stairs, the emergency stairs.
Yeah.
And at this point, just for the sake of convenience, what have you guys been doing? Are you guys immediately going to the elevators?
I am.
Okay, so the elevators are locked down. They have been locked down with the rest of the building. But
to the stairs.
A moment later, it's the scene from Avengers where Hulk bursts out of the stairwell. You guys rush over to the stairs, and then I actually imagine that the door probably doesn't like slam open. I feel like Paul would probably just open it, which is just door opens it, skull robot in your face, just right there. Now, notably, it is like Paul's skull. I don't know how identifying that is.
Determine.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen him, so it's like, oh god, robot, and then it's like, Paul.
Friends. Hands open up like wide. You can see the shackles still on his wrists from where he just broke out.
God, like a drunk uncle. Ah,
friends. By the way, terrible voice, terrible ass voice. It's like a PC trying to die.
Hello, Paul. We're going to the boss.
Boss, top floor.
Very good, Paul. Walking up the stairs.
Robots downstairs.
Not my concern.
We really have some shit to deal with, Paul. Please.
Grim up behind what the hell happened? You still haven't told me.
We were thrown out a window, Birdman.
Why were you thrown out of a window?
Paul turns to Grenier, who's like, and just repeats, robots downstairs.
And Grimnir sort of looks at him and sort of squares that away with other thing we'll have to deal with.
In his mind, the to-do list got another bullet point on it.
Yeah, Grimnir's like, very good. I guess you can take another one if this one breaks down. Let's go.
now's probably a good time to ask. If I full tilt sprint up the stairs, how good is this robot body?
I'm going to make you roll for it.
Lovely. I'm gonna full tilt sprint up the stairs.
Roll for it. What a nice little transaction that was.
What's the roll?
Just give me a flat dex.
Flat dex. Please.
Or actually, well,
27.
Christ almighty.
The robot is very good.
this robot that has just been clanking around and making the god-awful noises. You all see it turn around and then just, like, Barry Allen up the stairs.
Jesus.
Now,
Take
notably,
me!
it's
Take
like
me with
50 to 60 floors. But
Yeah.
Paul,
can't
you
get
left
tired.
behind friend. Take friend.
How far did I get before he said that?
it's an echo.
earshot,
It's
yeah.
an echoey stairwell. Earshot on
You
a stairwell is
forgot
big.
Take friends.
Complete
All of us.
stop, turns all the way back around, looks at how big you both are, picks up Grimnir and runs back.
Notably, when you touch Grimnir, the things pop out again.
Interesting.
Not even regarding.
Yeah,
it
no,
at
I was
this
just
point.
I say it
I
more
know
for-
there's
I imagine it's literally that Grimnir is like flapping in the air next to them. Like, you
Yeah.
have to tell what the hell happened. Who did you even talk to? And then...
Grim snuck into an office. Everyone else almost died in one way or another. All right, so Grim and Paul are going. Soma and Theo are close behind.
We're,
See
yeah,
you
Are
guys in a
just
minute.
running up the stairs.
we're going right
Yep.
back. We might go right out that window again, and guess what I'll do? Go
Guess
right
what
back.
next, baby?
All right. So you two are demigods. You're also, spirits in some sense. And Paul is in a robot, and Grim is being carried. So it's not an easy journey. You're tired by the end of it, but for the sake of convenience, and because it's a superhero thing, it's not that unbelievable. You guys are able to make it up. I'll say we'll pick back up at the top floor in the stairwell in case you guys want to plan or anything. And if you have anything you want to do on the stairs, you can. Just let me know.
I would like to say that until Theo and Soma get there, Paul has been standing completely still, waiting for friends to arrive, and did not let Grimnir go. He is still holding the bird.
The scruff of the neck, and he's sort of sitting there flapping. Okay, they got thrown out the window. You went into the robot downstairs. I found and he'll sort of have tried to sort of going through it for himself. He's sharing with Paul everything he knows
Yeah.
about the project and what they're doing. So the robot bodies are what they're going to put people into. Was there anyone else in the bodies down there?
Not that you
Other
saw yet.
bodies asleep. No one else.
No one else. So they hasn't done it yet. It's time to stop it then.
Arms connected to system.
Connected to system. And this is where sort of Grimnir's computer knowledge doesn't really he knows stuff is connected with wires, so he's like, okay,
Yeah.
like a wire, right? Maybe we can cut the wire.
Arms are nowhere.
Arms, yeah, it's
Yep, I
So
know
they
this
have-
doesn't make sense.
yeah, he's sort of arms are nowhere. Okay, so inside the computer then. Okay.
No. Arms exist in nothing.
No arms exist in. Oy. Sort of trying to puzzle through. All right. Could
With
I
his
go, Paul?
other arm, he tries to show the arm coming from the sky, and goes,
Arm from sky. Many
Pause.
of them.
Pause.
Okay.
Make me a Constitution save
Con save.
right now.
Me or Paul?
Paul.
"Lovely." Ooh. So what happens if I fail that?
Did you fail it?
I got a 7.
At you trying in your mind to do something that is related to the arms and mimic that motion, lights on the arm immediately start blinking and those pods activate again. So it actually, Grimnir, this is like, it is a convincing imitation of the arm that you saw, minus the flesh parts.
Great.
Right, okay.
And actually, I'll go ahead and tell you, because this is, this is something that I would do visually if I could. When those nodes appear, having seen both the arm and this thing, you can kind of piece together those nodes are where the flesh parts would have emanated from on the arm.
Okay.
Like, he sort of stares at that. Oh, good. Odin's fucking tits. He's building robots. Oh god, they can all extract them.
After trying to explain he experienced and seeing the arm nodes, Paul is just kind of staring at the arm with the activated nodes on it.
Keeps happening when touch things.
When touch things or touch people?
People.
That's not good.
At this point, Soma and Theo have probably arrived or close to arrived.
And I'm holding him out with one arm, and then the other one is glowing.
Doing the extractor thing.
He's just...
Paul!
E.S.
What?
There's a moment where he's like just holding both of them, and then you just see...
Let go of the bird.
And he sets down Grimnir.
Yeah, Grimnir's going to go, like, okay, as far as I can piece together, and like he's gonna try and talk to Theo and Sumakithero, like unless they just burst through the door immediately and go.
I feel like Theo might.
You have a few seconds.
Yeah. He's put together an army of robots. They are all going to extract souls from the under, and I think that's about as much as he can get out.
Yeah. I say he's a monster, and I go through the door.
All right. Is everyone following, or are we letting Theo get there first? I guess I should say.
I have no
We're
reason
following.
not to follow.
I figured.
Yeah.
Okay, so you all burst back onto the executive floor. Everything is remarkably calm. There are no people here. Anyone who has been here has clearly evacuated. It is basically silent, except for that very faint whistling of wind from the broken window behind the door at the end of the hall.
Is there anybody in here?
The door is closed, so you cannot see into the office, but the hallway and presumably the rest of the floor is empty.
I'm going to try out my cool robot arms after seeing what I can do when I run, and I'm going to grab a trash can and try and throw it through the door.
Okay, it is a metal door, so I'm going to say it does not... well, you know what? I'll give you something for this. You chunk this trash can at the door. It makes like maybe a little dent or a scratch, but the door does slightly swing open.
Gotcha.
I'm going in.
All right. So, you all walk in to see... I don't know if you heard... You didn't hear the description of this guy, did you? The rest of you. A very normal-looking man. A businessman. Not, like, remarkable in any sense. Not particularly supervillainy. He looks, put together. Maybe a little bit tired. But he's got, a suit. It's a little bit torn in places. But other than the torn suit and the broken window behind him, he looks like a very, very normal sort of Silicon Valley businessman. Very charismatic. Probably a little bit like older than he lets on. He just tries to look a little bit younger, but maybe like early 40s, something like that. And as you walk in, he hears the door open. He's currently like kind of leaned down, inspecting the window that was broken. Seemingly just sort of innocently, maybe, looking to see how complicated it was or it would be to fix. And then he turns around, and before any of you can do anything, kind of anticipating that Theo is going to start sprinting at him full tilt, Just goes, oh, look, you're all here. That is wonderful. 4 Urkalans in one place. What a day this is.
Paul is gonna look at him and then look at Theo and go, monster.
He goes, well, right now, my robot, you look a little bit more like a monster than me, but maybe that's my fault for designing it like that. I don't know. How is it, by the way? Is the suit comfortable?
You don't have to answer that, Paul. Yes, monster. Some of the souls.
Monster.
He's gonna as soon as you say yes, monster, he goes monster and runs at him.
Okay, what is it? 3 hours, 15 minutes? Everybody roll me initiative.
Fuck yes.
Oh, baby.
Everybody roll me initiative.
Dirty 20.
Someone's dying today.
Dirty
13 from me.
What a dirty 20. What did I hear?
I got
get-
an 8.
I also got an 8.
Skyen, what did you get?
Damn.
14.
What's your
14.
dex?
Okay, so fittingly,
Mike?
oh yeah. What's the dex for your?
My dex is 14.
We have the same dex.
Well,
I'm tempted to give it to Theo out of just battle rage, but if that feels unfair,
you know what? No, I feel like Soma throughout this entire thing has been taking
actually,
a backseat.
Soma
Like, this
also-
is your fight, dude.
Soma also fell
not
50
my
stories.
place, clearly.
Soma fell 50 stories, so I'm gonna say, he hit the ground after falling. So I'm gonna say, yeah, that's still probably
That's
shaking a little bit. Okay, so as Paul charges, before I start, Mr. H.A.D.E.S kind of just looks at the suit, almost with like pride. He goes, "It really is performing well. I do wish you'd tell me about how it feels." Now it's your turn.
Twofold here.
Okay.
This is probably going to either kill or hurt me. Now that I think about it, but
I'm gonna tackle him out.
this would be Paul's first
Is this
option.
Gonna be well, I shouldn't assume.
Paul
Guess where
is
he's
going to grab him by the neck, and he's going to try and possess him.
Gonna try to possess him. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. How would that work in this case? It's actually kind of. Give me a Constitution check. Actually, I guess I should make you roll to grab him first. I was too busy thinking about the mechanics. Give me just a dex check to see if you can grab him.
It's going.
The dex check is 25. The con check is 18.
Okay, so you grab him with surprising ease. Your robot body is definitely good. He seems a little caught off guard by that, but keeping the aura almost proud, like he seems more happy that this robot is doing good rather than anything else.
Wow, that worked.
When you grab him, the nodes activate again. But this time, like the lights are going, something different is happening. You can feel it in the mechanics. Something very different is happening. The possession does not work. For reasons you cannot tell, the possession does not work, but you are, something is interacting in this, but that's about it.
Okay.
That is.
I'm still in the body.
You are still, yeah. Essentially, nothing has changed for you except for the arm is doing something.
Gotcha. Okay, so I grab him. I try and possess him. That doesn't work. I'm still grabbing him, and now the arm is freaking out.
Yes.
I'm assuming that's my turn.
Yeah, that's probably your turn. So who was it? Grimnir that's next? By the way, Grimnir, clear and present danger to souls.
Yes,
Yeah,
I am going to
I
roll
assumed,
a Constitution. That is a 10.
Yeah, no, in this case, that's definitely, like, this thing that you were looking at, this seemingly unassuming guy, a 10 is not going to be enough.
No, and also
Yeah,
he's the guy who's running all of this.
Yeah,
so,
definitely
I don't want
not.
the other guy anyways.
So immediately after Paul runs forward and grabs the guy, there is going to be a horrible tearing sound as Grimnir's body sort of bursts apart in like a shower of blood, and out of the blood rises the werewolf form, Frigga, who is going to charge at Mr. CEO Man and immediately attack him.
All right, give me an attack roll. Give me an attack roll with advantage
Yes.
because he is grappled.
Okay, so that's a 21.
Roll for damage.
Yes.
What are you doing? Just
I'm
like
gonna
slashing at him, I assume?
Well, he's going to slash at him with his claws,
Okay.
which is going to be 10 piercing damage. And because I have a bunch of feet specifically on the Freke form, he is going to try and grapple him at the same time. He can do that on any
Okay.
unarmed strike in an attempt
Out
to
of
grapple.
curiosity, always the scariest thing a DM can do to ask for specifics. Where are you slashing him? I assume you're going
given
for
that
somewhere
Paul
like
has him by
lethal.
the front, I think the werewolf's going to come around, like, slash him in the side.
Slash, like, just trying to, like, rip his side open?
Yeah.
All right. I guess give me that grapple check. We'll see if you can get double grab on him, and then I'll describe what happens once I have all the info.
Yeah. Grapple. Let me just check what the rule is for that. It's a strength athletics check. Okay. So I'm going to roll athletics. That's natural 20 for
Natural
a 28 total.
20. So
Let's
yeah, you
fucking
reach
go!
it. I think for flavor, you can obviously your character, you can overwrite this if you want, but you grab him first and tear. That's probably scarier. Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
And now, having grabbed him, I have
you
2
got even
attacks.
more?
My next
Dang.
attack obviously rolls with advantage
okay, I'll wait to describe everything once.
for 26 to hit,
That
and
also
Holy fuck, man, you're scary.
and then another 6 slashing damage.
Okay.
There.
Freke runs up to this already grappled guy, and in a truly mighty show, reaches in with his claws, grabs him, and tears him clean in half. Combat over.
Okay, just need to know: is this body actually dead?
Yep.
Is there blood?
Yep.
It is a dead body.
It is a dead body. You just killed him.
Then immediately,
Okay.
Frick is going to try and eat him.
It's bad tasting. It tastes not good as a human, and also
but
not. It
since
tastes
you're letting me
almost
do it. The way it's
rotting.
going to happen is that his jaw is going to unhinge in a terrible, terrible way, and he's simply going to go down, and whatever that body was, like, if any spirit inhabits it, it's gone. Like, this is how he annihilates the targets that he's destroying. But of course, if
Fuck
there's
me,
no
man.
spirit inside it,
It
then-
tastes weird. You like, you
Yeah.
know, not even like like spirit relative. I assume spirits have some sort of flavor in this fucked up world. It tastes strange.
yeah, Freke does not care. Like, Freke's only objective is to kill and eat whoever desecrates the bodies of the dead.
Yeah.
And so, having done that, he's just sort of going to go and transform back into Grimnir, who's gonna, like, show up on the floor a little bit confused.
Okay, wait, change.
As he's eating the body, covered in blood, Paul is gonna turn around to Theo and just
Monster gone.
A note here, Skyen. No, you don't. You don't turn back.
uh-oh.
Good to know.
You don't turn back.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I do not turn back. I have consumed the body of this thing.
Uh-oh. I don't like that.
Yeah, no, see, this guy is fucked.
Can I make any kind of check? I know you
I'm
say
still-
yes,
whatever
it's a
checks you
dead
want.
body. Can I
I'm
make
still
any kind of
back
check
to
for
this.
What
Go ahead,
check
go
would you like to make? Any of you?
I want to see.
What would you check? Arcana, I guess?
You can check Arcana.
I mean,
This might be
yes.
some soul bullshit. Yeah. You know what? That was decent. I'm going to use my bless. Because that's
Okay.
15 minus 1, but then
Hell yeah.
plus 4. So
Heyo.
that brings us 18 for Arcana.
You have seen and caused a lot of dead bodies in your time. That's certainly one of them.
Yeah, but there's no fucking way.
We don't know how Grimnir and Freke, how their powers work.
I think it's been vaguely described to you. I don't think you have like the. I think at most, and Skyen, remind me if I'm wrong here. I think at most it was like when the souls of the dead are in danger, you have to like kill.
Yeah,
the
when they're in danger or they're being desecrated, then Grimnir will transform.
Yeah.
It's very, very difficult for him to resist it.
Yes.
I don't have any inkling or any single conversation that we have had where I would know that after he protects them, he transforms back. He's supposed to.
You could maybe that has not been explicitly told to you, and you've only seen him transform once. So maybe you could figure it out, but it's kind of if that's one that's weirdly like on your character. Do you think they'd figure that out?
And like I take it that since he's not transforming back, it's because the werewolf senses somehow that like this is not over.
No, there's still a sense of danger in the air.
It's like
whatever.
so Frigid will be like pacing around on the floor, like growling and like howling and like slashing at the floors, like being very aggressive as though there's like he's unsatisfied.
Mm-hmm.
After thumbs upping to Theo, Paul's gonna turn back around and try and pet Freke. That is, danger gone, monster dead.
Theo stares. Oh, go ahead.
Soma's also pacing like in a similar path to Freke. There is no way. There is no way it was that simple. I kicked that man with my foot and it did nothing. There is no way he is dead yet. He has some bullshit to get out of this. I know it.
Theo, like low ominous camera angle is just staring at the body.
Which half?
And like looks over and sees Freke just still pacing and running around, and hears Soma, and it sort of clicks in his mind that Freke only comes out when people who are desecrating souls. Why is he still here?
Oh.
And the satisfaction, Theo just says, the satisfaction is not there. Theo just says, "You're correct. This is not over. Monster is not gone. We just don't know where he is."
Slow head turn from Paul towards the pool of blood that used to be the body. He just holds a hand out to it.
Yeah. As a point of interest, Matt,
mm-hmm.
Can Freke smell anything unusual? Like, is there any kind of scent that might be possible to follow?
Are you saying in a literal sense, not a like magic sense?
I mean, the way that I've cast it is that when he has a target, he can track them by by their scent, their aura, like not
so
in the
it
sense
is
of like knowing exactly where they are,
a magical
but
sense.
going where they are going. Yeah.
Okay, that is actually notable.
Like the scent of their soul rather than necessarily their body.
I think
it's something I should roll perception checks for.
Okay, give me a perception check, and then I will determine the.
Can I also add something on top of this?
Yeah, obviously, this is a mystery episode. If you guys have clues, go for it.
Since Paul's been walking around trying to pet Freke, he's going to use Gaze of Two Minds as his hand is on Freke to try and sense through his senses.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
You'll get no resistance. Like Freke sees you as a friend and has
now that's
no reason to resist anything
helpful.
You do.
All right, give me a perception check.
That was a 13 from me.
13. Paul, give it to me as well, since you are also.
I gaze through their senses, so I'm assuming whatever he gets.
Give me a different perception check for it.
Oh, lovely, great, love that a lot. That's a 9. That's not great. I'm like, look through his eyes and touching his head, and that's
so. Freke, the scent is there. It's very muddled. There's a lot of other scents of souls here. This whether he can figure this out or not is kind of a question of Freke's intelligence specifically. I think Grimnir would be able to figure out, probably because this building is like, it's a conduit for a lot of souls, and it's muddled in there, but you can definitely tell it's muddled in there. Paul
like,
with a 9
cannot figure that out. Like he just knows if I have a direction, I'll go.
Yeah. Paul,
so he's
with
just
a 9, you don't get
confused.
too much. You get that same sort of information. It's muddled with the rest.
I have a question.
What's up?
I'll be a little cryptic here. Are the screens still here?
The screens are not extended, but they did like extend from, I don't remember if I said floor or ceiling, but like presumably they are there, but they're not.
They're there, but they're not active like they were.
Yeah.
That's probably good.
Paul, I don't know if this is gonna work. Paul, kind of noticing that something's wrong with Freke, noticing that Theo is not settled by the fact that Monster is obviously dead.
Obviously.
He's like,
on ground.
Okay. Right. Extra bodies in basement. He is going to simply, as he's touching Freke, as he's petting him, just go look over at Theo and go,
meet in basement.
Walk over to a screen, put his hand to it, and go back into the system.
Okay, cool. The screens are not available, but like his computer is, so we'll just say for this.
You can walk over to the computer, grab it, and then just soul and body. I'm assuming just puppet drops.
We'll do that in a second. Rest of you, what is your reaction to that? Just so I know where everyone's at. If you guys want to do anything else in this office.
Theo has that annoying feeling of, what can we do?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that like he fucking just got away. He just fucking got away. And so I think, like with anybody, it takes a moment for him to grasp with that. He's running through all of the options in his mind, and we just don't know enough information. And so I guess this battle is over for now. For now. Let's go find Paul in the basement.
All right. I assume Freke is going to be following.
If they leave, Freke will follow them, like sort of padding behind them, like a dog in sort of his body language, but with horrible werewolf proportions and like giant claw hand.
We haven't shown the art of Freke enough. Let me pull it up on screen for everybody.
If this was a movie, I imagine the way that Theo is being shot now is like a villain. Like, he does not look like a hero.
It's
right now. He looks there is no stoicism like, let's get to the bottom. It's, you know, cold, calculated.
That was Eterna's MO specifically. But all right, so Soma, are you going along with this too?
Yep.
All right, back down the stairs. Paul.
Yep.
Well, you get there first. Paul, you follow the node connections back down. Notably, you are coming from a different direction, but the layout is basically the same. Different destination.
Really quick, if I could speak to Soma on our way down.
Go ahead.
Oh boy.
I'd like to, as we walk down the menagerie of stairs, I'm sure we find some time.
Mm-hmm.
I just say, I'm trying to think, what did... Okay, yeah. As we walk down in silence for a while, Theo just goes, "Thank you."
It takes Soma a couple seconds. 4.
Fighting in a battle which you had nothing to gain.
I'm not capable of selflessness. I gain something from every battle. He said that bullshit about taking a life. Life is giving, and life is taking. I took so much. Taking a life, you know what you gain? Glory. You gain that victory. You gain the life experience of winning. There are givers, and there are takers. And H.A.D.E.S, You gave a lot in your life. A lot more than I considered conscionable. And you ended up with very little. The path you're down right now. Find the joy in taking. This one's yours.
I will. And that's that. That's all I have to say.
All right.
Great, healthy pep talk.
Great
Healthy.
healthy pep talk.
So healthy.
I have no
Give in to your
fucking
worst
clue what's
instinct.
going on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Paul, you're about to have maybe the most clue. Paul, you
Fun.
go down this nexus, this network.
Yup.
Give me a perception check as you go.
Lovely. 12.
12. Okay, that's actually still enough. It was going to be hard to miss. As you pass that bubble, it has distinctly changed. It looks almost cracked, in a sense.
Uh-oh. Don't like that. Don't love that. That's bad. Oh, no. Got it. See the bubble. Little worried. Little scared. Keep going down.
Right.
I'm running. I have the most distinct feeling that the soul we just separated from that body is going to be in one like the superpowered robot I was just in. Not psyched about that. So
As you
I
go
didn't
down
even
to
think
the
about
bottom
that.
of this space, you notice something. Everything is pretty much the same as it was, except one connector. One that is connected to an extractor is glowing very brightly.
oh no.
Oh.
You might need to come up with a system on the fly here, Matt.
Okay.
I'm going to try and counter-possess him.
Okay. That's
I'm going to try and jump into the same arm
you're gonna jump into
and
the
see if I can kick him out of it.
Okay. Give me a Constitution check.
Can I try again?
No, you can't.
That was not the sound of
I'm gonna go ahead and tell
Constitution.
you, it was not going to be an easy check, regardless.
No, I don't assume it is. Well, that's bad for my 100% completely average roll. I got a 10.
Nope.
That's not great.
So you are actually, with surprising ease, able to enter the extractor.
Okay.
When you do not actually end up in that same void place that you were in before. You
oh no,
are
am I
in
into loss?
You are in an active extractor arm that is entering Urkala.
Okay.
And
Okay.
and
Uh-oh.
looking down from the sensors in that arm, you see, just casually leaning up against a wall, looking up at this arm. I think you know. I think you know who he said. He looks up and goes, "Oh, I was wondering. I can sense you in there. Don't try to hide. Remember a moment ago, 4 Collins in one day coming into my office? That was planned. Needed your signatures to track so I could end up where I needed. Come on down. You can't stop that arm. I know you're not powerful enough to do that." And the arm keeps advancing.
I don't do that. I go back into the network and then go to a different body in the basement. I saw what was happening with fuck, and immediately jumped into the a different robot body instead.
The other bodies don't seem to be active right now. But it's the same process. That lab is now abandoned.
Got it. I jump into one of them and do the same break out, and I am going to try and book it towards the stairs.
You book it towards the stairs, and since both of you are heading towards the stairs, I'm going to assume that at some point you do meet in the middle here.
Got it.
I need everyone to roll me an Arcana check.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Freka can't do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh,
19.
19, that makes sense.
17.
17?
11.
11, okay.
Hello.
Paul first. Paul, as you're running, You sense something inside the suit.
Bad.
Something
Don't like that.
literally growing inside the suit. You can essentially feel it as it expands. And as you are running, you stumble a bit as all of those nodes on the robot activate and start emanating flesh. Turning into something that resembles the extractor more than it did previously.
Great. As we're running in that case, fuck it, let's dive into the horror. He immediately plunges his hands into his chest and starts ripping out wiring from the robot. Trying to kill the robot as he is in it.
Fine, let's triple down on the horror. As you do this, you very briefly expose what looks like a core of flesh that was hidden inside the robot. And every piece of circuitry and machinery that you tear is immediately healed over with organic material, regenerating as you run.
Okay, in that case, A, I've stopped running. B, as I'm trying to tear at the chest that is regenerating, I'm gonna start going more lethal. He's trying to rip his own throat out at this point. He's trying to rip his throat out, trying to tear his head off, like, immediately going into absolute kill the body, kill the body, kill the body.
As you start doing that, eventually you start feeling sort of resistance over your control over it. You
I'm
can guess
imagining
from
so.
where. I mean, give me a Constitution check, I guess.
Yes! 21.
21? Okay. You are actually able to continue control over this body. You can't actually destroy it. It is healing too fast for that, but you do keep control as you run up the stairs. Do you have a specific...
I'm imagining I'm going to continue trying to fight for control over this thing.
I figured this is a constant. I'll have you do rolls as it becomes relevant.
You won't have to. As we meet in the middle, he irks out, which I'm imagining through vocal cords as they start to grow. Very distorted, semi-mechanical, semi-human speech as you see this half-robot abomination that's obviously been ripping away at itself stumble up to you.
Monster in Urkala can't kill body.
And I dip into a random room, and I'm going to throw myself out the building.
Make another Constitution check to try to do that.
Yes. I knew I used up all my goodwill. 5.
Yeah. At that, you start to turn into this other room as everyone is looking on, and then freeze and turn back around. And when you turn back around, the face on the robot is no longer Paul's skull. It is a face that vaguely resembles Mr. Eterna, but obviously distorted both from the distortion of the screen itself and the flesh that is literally growing and integrating with the machinery. And he turns to Theo directly, spreads his arms out wide, and in a distorted voice says, "I told you, Theo, it was never about money. It was about growth." And I think from there, we're going to end Agents of Hades 2, Episode 2. How are you all feeling about my villain that I made?
I'm going to kill him.
Slightly dreadful.
You did already, technically.
I'll kill him 1,000 times before I let the company die.
I also get to reveal something really cool here. One of my favorite naming things I've ever done, and I could say it in the after show, but it's cool enough that I want everybody to hear it. Metastatic is a word. I love this word for this series because it is a word that sounds like some, evil tech billionaire AI thing. Metastatic is a medical term for a cancer that is spreading from its origin to another point of the body. It is cancer growing and expanding into other territories. And that is what the title actually means for anyone who was curious. Mm-hmm.
We have a lot to discuss.
I like this episode. I like this episode a lot. It's one of my favorites I've ever made, I think.
This one was a banger for sure.
All right. All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you, players, for tolerating my little, micro traumas and sometimes macro traumas of you. We will be back a week from today, Friday, December 8th, for the final episode of Agents Metastatic. We don't have a lot of announcements up until then. VODs will be posted as usual. We're about to record the after show as usual, so subscribe to our Patreon if you want to see that in early access. The one thing I will say, and I will say this, or I said this at the beginning, but for anyone who came in late, I am sorry about the Spotify episode, or Spotify upload of the previous episode. A lot of things went wrong with that, admittedly most of which were my bad, but I'm trying to fix it. That will be uploaded this weekend before the VOD of this one even goes up, and that's not like a change to our Spotify policies. I just screwed it up and then had internet issues that screwed it up further. So that will be fixed. Sorry for the delay. But hopefully, if you're hearing this warning, like on a VOD, it's already been fixed, so we should be good. But for everyone here in the live. Anything else we need to say, or can we go ahead and go into the after show? It was a fairly short episode today, but I think the pacing was solid. So
yeah. I think I'm ready to talk.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Sweet. Well then, thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you all enjoyed. And like I said a minute ago, we will be back next Friday to see where this is gonna go. Have a great rest of your night, everybody. See you later.